There you go. Year and a half. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Look out.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up, listen up.
Jizzy McBride's ahead of you, so there's that.
Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were
Bro, I shouldn't have streamed. It's so fucking cold here.
raised.
Didn't realize how cold it was. It's 26 right now. No heat. It'll be fun ride in. I rode out when it was like 30 something. I was like 34 earlier. I rode out. It wasn't too bad. I had a hoodie and a jacket on, but riding back in, it's going to be fun.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just
I'm in East Tennessee.
Incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is?
What?
Big Daddy's meat stick.
Uh-oh.
I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. It's cold as shit here, apparently. I knew it was cold today. I guess I just didn't look at the numbers. I just texted Mariah and told her to leave some water running. I really want to do some underpinning, like around the camper, to try to solve some of the heat issues there. We just go through a lot of propane, and we go through a lot of electricity in the summer trying to keep it cool, but we like it. I'm not complaining. I just thought I had more time to prepare, but winter's already here, it seems like. What are you guys all doing? How was everybody's holiday? Good? No? Yeah? No? So let me tell you about this Kai Cenat situation we got going on. I kind of mentioned it on the last show we did. But so Kai Cenat is a huge streamer. He's a black guy with like dreads, I guess they're called, or whatever. He's got braids. He's a huge streamer. Huge. And he has streamed all over the world, right? He's traveled to like Europe. He's been streaming. He's the one that jumped over a car and people were saying it was fake. People were saying it was real. I never even got to the bottom of that. I didn't really care. Recently, he had a streamer on named Max. What was the guy's name? Max something. Hold on. Anyways, he's a magician on his stream, right? Max Major, okay? A magician on his stream named Max Major. I don't know why we got sidetracked from this. I was telling the story in the last stream. And in this stream with Max Major, the guy's a magician, right? So he's going to do a magic trick. So part of this magic trick is like he's up on scaffolding and there's a bunch of nooses. Okay, there's like, let's say there's 4 or 5 nooses, and one of them's around his neck, and the other one are empty. And then Kai Cenat is supposed to pull a lever, and the guy's gonna like know what he was gonna pick and not get hung, right? Well, that doesn't happen. So what happens is, of course, when Kai pulls the lever, it tightens the noose on the magician, and the scaffolding gets kicked over. And they act like, oh, no, it went wrong. Well, obviously, that's what he planned on doing. But they're like, it went wrong. I can't believe this. Oh, no. And they're like trying to get him down. They get him down, cut him down. And an ambulance has to show up and shit. And they like kind of push the crowd back, which is Kai and his friends. And the guy just, of course, that was a magic trick. None of that was real, right? It was all staged. It was all bullshit. But the magician just dips out. Just leaves. So unaliving's like a big topic you cannot address on social media. You can't simulate it. You can't encourage people. You can't joke about it a lot of times. So the guy just fucking leaves in the ambulance and refuses to come back. Like won't answer his phone, won't call anybody, won't nothing. Trying to play up this death scene. So his buddy's there Like the magician's buddy is there, and they like question him, and they're like, no, he's like, no, it's just a magic trick. And they're like, he needs to come back here and tell everybody he's okay. Like people are freaking out on the stream. And he's like, oh, he can't, you know, I don't know. And they basically like hold the guy's buddy hostage for a little bit, which is very weird. And that's very strange. And then finally the Max guy doesn't call him, but he texts him. And Kyle's on the stream like, you need to come back. Dude, if you're seeing this, you better come back and tell everybody you're okay, right? Like, this isn't cool. You're going to get me banned or whatever. He finally texts him and is like, just let me be the bad guy. Let it be whatever it is. Kind of. It's so weird, dude. The whole thing is so weird. This is where he was on the stream earlier. So here's the magician guy. I'll let you guys see it. Not the unaliving one. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for that one, but here's a different trick he did.
Okay, close your eyes, look straight ahead. And I want you to imagine, Kai, you're looking into a mirror. And as you look into the mirror, you don't see yourself, you see Sexy looking back at you. Now, Sexy, you can keep your eyes
That's
open.
Sexy Red.
Okay? And anytime you feel me touch you, you just raise your hand again. Here we go.
Bro. What? Nobody touched me? Oh God, say no, say oh God, nobody touched me.
Keep your eyes closed.
Say oh God, nobody touching me, nigga. Somebody touching my waist. Bitch.
Okay, open your eyes.
What? Bitch.
So that was a magician. That's Kai and his friends. Like, I don't know. It's not that interesting to me, but clearly it's interesting to other people, right? But that is what, that was some of the tricks he did, I guess. But the unaliving one was wild. Then, like I said, the guy just dips the fuck out and won't come back. It says, this post contains an advertisement for RainBet, a gambling website, which is both illegal and breaches intellectual property rules on X terms of service. That's from Community Notes. But it basically looks like the guy got hung, and then paramedics come out of nowhere, whisk him away, and he refuses to come back.
You can't think it's okay?
Bro, this is his. We don't know this. Tell me, listen.
This is his property.
I'm letting you listen to the audio, but this is where they're like, is he okay? We need to check on him. This is when everybody was still freaked out.
Listen, this is his property. All right, so we're going to take it.
Now, on Wednesday, this is the last update we had. Kai's like, you could never come back on my stream. I'm never having a magician on my stream anymore. Like, this could get me banned. It could get people in trouble. There's people that are worried about you. I was worried about you, kind of deal. And then the guy texts him and says, just let me be the bad guy. Let it be what it is, or what, something like that. But now, it seems like later that evening, the magician recorded a message for Kai. So
Not just the choices that you...
let's grab that and see what happens. It says, Max Major messaged Kai Cenat after the prank. I could be getting clickbaited too. I don't know.
If
but
you're
here.
watching this, that means that something has gone terribly wrong. But what you don't know is that was all according to my plan. You see, at the start of my performance, I said that tonight was all about choices. But not just the choices that you made tonight, the choices that you've made.
It's incredibly irresponsible because there are kids who watch Kai Cenat, and the guy basically simulated an accidental suicide.
Since the day that we met.
Well, so today I got a Mari to pull up.
No, you don't.
The objective is to catch this nigga in his lies.
Straight up.
Niggas gotta be behind him. Niggas gotta be on the sides. Niggas gotta be watching every
No
angle.
bullshit.
I know how Mark cards look, chat, so I'm on his ass.
I had to look. I wanted to see that go through his lip.
I kept trying to fuck with him, like trying to.
So he dead ass is
right.
We really trying to prove you wrong. We fuck. I'm so glad they had that ran it over.
Got his ass.
I don't even fuck. What's wrong with you, bro? For real.
You see, from the first time we met, you pushed me, you challenged me, you wanted to see me fail. And I thought tonight, I'd give you exactly what you asked for. You see, you thought the game was for me to influence you to make the right choice. Well, all along, I planned to influence you to make the wrong choice, and I knew you'd pick the red handle. You see, even when it feels like you're playing a game of chance, you have to remember who you're playing against, because I decide who wins or loses.
So he does this like, he claims it's like this mind hacking thing, but it's really like just a bunch of cold reading and stuff. There's a guy on TikTok that actually exposes these people. Like he does it too, but lets you know like it's just a trick. He's not like a psychic or anything. But this was where they were all freaking out, telling me he needed to come back and shit.
Chat, I'm never doing a fucking magician show ever again. He just fucked it up for everybody, bro. And niggas is calling you and you not coming back to just explain your little magic trick, gang. You getting me mad because I don't let you come on here and display your talent. And everybody, I'm the one who brought you into the space for you to display your talent. Yesterday you had a good run. I kept bringing you back, and you can't even give me the respect enough to come in here and just explain your situation.
Right.
Now I'll look crazy, gang.
Just say something.
Fuck.
But this I know something weird because why your
Is it racist to say that a lot of times, ethnic people have a more extreme reaction to magicians?
team still down there recording us watching?
No, that's not my team.
That's my favorite magician reactions to watch.
That's why I said
His team is here.
Y'all trying to record.
Chat, I'm never doing a fucking.
So they were freaking out. So that's Sexy Red or whatever. She is a musician. But they were freaking out. It was pretty wild. Then I stumbled across this video, which I thought was interesting to see. We're talking about Elon Musk and X and shit. But that's all the Kai Cenat thing. I haven't seen another update about it. I'm looking now. Choked himself on Kai Cenat's stream. He cared about Max Major. There's the message to him. There's the you won't believe what went down in Kai Cenat's latest stream. People are covering it. That magician Max Major, if he really did set the whole thing up, is a fucking idiot and should be blacklisted from everything from now on. If it wasn't a real setup, Kai should be suspended for a bit to reflect on this. I'm pretty sure you should have like he should be in control of that, right? I don't know if Kai should get in trouble for the magician. Well, I guess he has the ultimate decision who to let on, who not to let on. Anyways, that's all I know for right now. It's just, it's culture. Some people overreact to scary movies. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad. I like their reactions. But, I don't know. Sometimes they just, it's so much they just can't take it. I like when they run off. They're like, no, fuck this guy. He's doing some shit with the devil or something. Kai Cenat's Mafia-thon 2 subathon goes viral after video shows him hanging a person with a noose. It's later revealed that the person was magician Max Major, and that the stunt was part of a planned performance. Cenat expressed his discontent, saying it made him look crazy. Now, Kai Cenat might be in on this, and he'll never reveal that he is, right? Because he can't. If he revealed that he was in, then he probably would get in trouble with the streaming platform. He's not Hassan. But Kai Cenat's also the one that they got in that argument and the guy set all the fireworks off in his room and it burnt down his house, and we went through and saw the discrepancies. Like, it wasn't even the same room, but allegedly it was. They built a fake set with Mr. Beast and set the fireworks off. That's the same streamer. So obviously he does a lot of these stunts for views, but it is what it is. He might be in on it. I don't know. All right, check this out. This is from Been a Minute, a YouTuber. I want to check it out. It says, how woke can I get before Elon bans me? So he's doing an experiment to see how woke he can get before he gets banned on Twitter, which I thought, this has got to be interesting, right?
So we all know the app, formerly known as Twitter, is supposed to be a platform that promotes free speech. But how much free speech is actually tolerated when it's from a leftist perspective? Well, today I'm on a mission to answer this question by posting strictly content.
It just said communism is sick, and it said banned.
To see how long it takes for my far left account to get banned. But here's the thing. Throughout this experiment, my tweets will become progressively more, progressive. Every day we'll get more and more woke until, who knows, we might go so far left that we wrap around to the far right. Oh, don't worry. We'll be pissing off a lot of right-wingers along the way. But the main goal of this is to find out if Twitter is silencing those who have an opposing ideology to Elon Musk. We've all noticed that ever since Elon took over Twitter, he has made it pretty clear.
I think this is interesting. I don't know how you could scientifically do it because it depends on how many people report you and how it gets back to them, how it's fed to them. But I do know that Hank Green, who's a very, he's a scientist, right? He did an experiment to find out that his links, when he tries to monetize his audience. So, let's say he posts all this content, videos, blah, 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 and has all this engagement with his audience. When he posts a link, the link was to one of his shows, his live shows where you could buy tickets, that it's artificially being basically shadow banned on Twitter and on Threads. And he's not very happy about that. I just watched a video he did where he documented some of that, which I would be pissed too. If you went through all the trouble to build that audience and then you can't monetize off of them, it's not like he's selling them a scam. It's tickets to his show. I'd be pissed.
that he wants it to be a safe haven for free speech. On their blog, they even have stated, "We believe Twitter users have the right to express their opinions and ideas without fear of censorship." But what that means in practice is a bit of a gray area, especially when it comes to left-leaning views. Some users argue that these moderation policies seem a bit lopsided, to say the least, and that Elon has transformed Twitter into a refuge for racists, misogynists, and fascists, amplifying far-right propaganda and playing a key role in Trump's re-election, to say the most. So,
How I think somebody will write a book one day about how Elon bought the election.
let's find out if my right to free speech still applies when I criticize everything this guy believes in. Hey, it's been a minute, and today I'm going to see if Twitter bans me for being too woke.
Let's go.
Let's get my profile set up. Let's do January.
Been a minute is a cool name. It's been a minute.
6th. Seems like a good date. All right, username. All right, we need to think of something.
He was born on January 6th.
Just a little woke. Maybe like Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky. I think that's pretty good. Oh, who should I follow first? Oh, what about Elon Musk? Location. San Francisco. This looks good. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so I really don't want to do this, but I think I'm going to have to get verified. Oh, God, I don't want to pay a dime. I'm mostly paying for the reply boost. I want like the largest amount of people seeing my content as possible. And I need the check mark, most importantly.
How long do you think it'll take? How many days do you think?
Okay, $16.
Twitter is now quitter.
I'm canceling it. Ugh, I hate that. Your account will be reviewed for a blue checkmark soon. I just paid for it. Our team is doing a quick review on your account. You should see your checkmark here within a few days. Oh my God. What is there to review? Now, I decided to follow a bunch of right-leaning accounts, including the top 10 accounts that Elon most often replies to. End wokeness.
So there's some people that have made entire careers of just responding to like they're left and they respond to gigantic right-wing people, and then or they're right and respond to big left-leaning creators.
Ian Miles Chong. Matt Walsh, for sure. Libs of TikTok. This is so dumb. Oh my God. I wanted to make sure that my timeline and For You page was just filled with a bunch of content that would trigger me easily, just making it a bit easier and faster to respond with my woke takes. Okay, let's see what's going on Twitter. I hate this so much. I already want to start responding.
It's already bad.
I love how the Trump-controlled federal government plans to spend our tax dollars to fund essentially a meme. Doge, instead of funding plans to combat the most salient threat to our planet, climate change. Post. What if that gets me banned? My very first tweet. Some quick background on my personal experience with Twitter. It really was my go-to social media platform from like 2014 to 2020. And during lockdown, I realized I was on it just way too much. So I did the healthy thing and switched to YouTube and spent too much time on there instead. All of this is to say that I haven't used Twitter in like 4 years, but I have stayed up to date with Elon's takeover of the platform and its overall shift to the right. So overall, it kind of feels like a welcome home party. Except my home was bought by a billionaire and
It's definitely a shift. I don't understand how the people on the right are like, finally, it's free speech. It's just fucking conspiracy theories all goddamn day. That's all I ever fucking see on there.
he painted all the walls black and clogged up all the toilets and invited a bunch of racist people over to sleep on the couch for a while. I can't wait. Who should Matt Gaetz go after first? Probably himself. Okay, so according to the Reddit user FEDart, Elon's average tweets per day, or TPD, is around 67. So to compete with the tweet master himself, I'm going to aim for a TPD, tweets per day, around 68 or 70, somewhere in there. Now you're probably thinking, dang, that's a lot of tweeting. I'm sure he's probably going to automate that with AI or something. No, that would be too easy and also make for a really boring video. And I know this might be a kind of controversial take, but I don't really think using AI to create content is very cool. Okay, I need to start tweeting a lot more. I have like 67 more tweets to go. Now, for the first few days, I wanted to start off with some mild leftist political views. This included tweets centered around fair wages. I wonder if Trump's pick for the Department of Labor will expand paid family leave. Oh, sorry, typo. I wonder if Trump's pick for the Department of Labor will abolish the Department of Labor. Climate change. Trump's new pick to run the department
Would abolish it.
disaster recovery is skeptical of climate change. Climate change. You know, the thing that causes natural disasters. And of course, constant digs at right-wingers on Twitter. I responded to this tweet and said, Allergan stock just shot up 27%. Shout out to all the little Botox boys out there. Allergan or Allergen is the company that makes Botox, by the way. This tweet had some levels to it, and I don't really think people got it besides me, so it's okay. You know, we're doing our best. We're trying. I think that everything
Jesus
on this first day
Christ.
could have been retweeted by your most basic Democrat or slightly left-leaning person. Can you spot the difference? Department of Defense 2024. Department of Defense 2025. One has a tattoo. So I ended day one with 1 like, 0 followers, and 42 tweets in total. My TPD was a little bit lower than I was aiming for, so I decided I'd just crank it up more the next day. Oh, and the approval of my blue checkmark that I already paid for was still pending. I think that once I am approved and get a blue checkmark, my posts will be sort of elevated to other accounts. But for now, it seems like they're not really getting too many impressions on the platform. Okay, so slow start to day one, but that was kind of expected with more of the mild leftist takes. So let's crank things up a bit and head on into. All right,
day two.
Twitter had become something unrecognizable to what it looked like back in 2020 when I left. Okay, so let's do some more tweeting. If people didn't start families in poverty, the human species would no longer exist. God, I hate Matt Walsh so much.
Imagine this is your take. Someone saying like, yeah, we should start families, but like you probably shouldn't be trying to raise kids like through abject poverty, right? It's a bad choice. Those kids are going to suffer, and I don't think there's any debate in that. And he's like, well, if we didn't start families in poverty, the human species would no longer exist. We can't fix the problem. We'll just pretend like it doesn't exist because it's happened before.
You're such a baby. Of course, there's copious amounts of misinformation and bigotry that, I'll say it, is pretty fun to call out and debunk. This I can't stand. Which country spends the most on healthcare per capita? The United States. But this isn't socialized medicine. This is private medicine. It's not like the government is spending that much. It would be cheaper to have socialized medicine in the US than... All right, I'm about to respond to that. Here are the facts. Medicare for all will cost less than our current system. A recent study by Yale epidemiologists found that Medicare for all would save around 68,000 lives a year while reducing US healthcare spending by around 13% or $450 billion a year. Idiot. Owned that one, rabbit hole. More like
These are often the same people that are against universal health care. This are the ones that's like, my husband got cancer and it bankrupted us.
like stupid idiot hole. But after a while, it all just kind of started to wane on me. Meanwhile, in New Zealand's parliament, what does this even mean? This is just like straight up racist. Anyone else laugh at this silly pagan? You know, I'm having fun making this video, but then I spend just like a little too much time on Twitter or see a post that just kind of pushes me over the edge, makes me want to just log off forever. Colonize more. Dude, come on. Like, what do you even say to these people? The indigenous people of New Zealand, the Maori, are just part of Parliament, which makes sense because they are the original people of the island of New Zealand, or the two islands. Like, what is wrong with them being part of their own government? Like, if that makes you mad, then like something is wrong with you. That's not normal to be like pissed off at this. I ended up having to throw in the towel for the day and decided to recharge for hopefully a better tomorrow. Has anyone seen Dr. Fauci recently? Someone is looking for him. Whoa. It wasn't better. How's everyone doing out there? It's day 3 and I have some very exciting news to share. I got a blue check mark that I'm paying $16 a month for. So I think at the end of day 2, I had about 83 tweets in total. And yeah, I got a little carried away this morning and I am now at 141 posts total. I don't know what it is, but I think I'm getting a little addicted to the platform. Don't look now, but Trump has quietly put together the most diverse cabinet ever assembled. And then it refers to these women as snacks. So I responded to it and said, the only snack here is RFK's brain worm. Basically what I'm trying to do at this point on day 3, just crank things up a notch, get a little more triggered when it comes to responding to these right-wingers, and getting a little more woke. And I think things are working. I'm getting more likes, I'm getting more responses. POV.
Yeah, they'll be the first people to start a GoFundMe and be against it. Like, everybody's showing like other... Why the fuck couldn't we be the best goddamn country and do it the best? Right? And all the studies show we'd save money. Yeah, we spend more money on everything, but that's because it's a private system. Have you been to the hospital lately?
You're inside RFK Jr.'s brain. Between the election denial and making fun of the disabled, you guys are on track to storm the Capitol on January 6th. LOL. It's spelled capital. Thanks. I always screw that up. Democrats made grandma say goodbye over FaceTime during COVID, and now they're crying about separating the families of illegals. One rule for life. Always tell commies to shut the fuck up. All the way, I thought they was gonna deport families together. Communism must be eradicated. Communism doesn't exist in the US, okay? Not like even close. What is with people on the right thinking that communism is like growing like wildfire in the US? It's not. Like, it's so not here. It'd be cool if there was more like socialist policies that we're talking about, but it's not. You don't have to worry about communism at all. I promise you, we're not getting anything close to that. Like, you think Democrats are communists? They're like so pro-capitalist. You think Nancy Pelosi's a communist? She has like one of the best performing portfolios out of like anyone in Congress. Like that doesn't sound very like commie to me. It was around this time when I started to notice something very unexpected. This morning, Stephen King, the horror novelist, left Twitter. My For You page began to flood with hundreds and hundreds of people saying that they were leaving Twitter, tweet after tweet, explaining that they were just fed up with the hate and misinformation that was consuming their timelines. And of course, these announcements came with plenty of commentary from the right, criticizing them for making this decision. So you have tweets like this: I would like to announce that I will not be announcing that I'm leaving Twitter. And it's like, oh, dude, it's so cool. Like, everyone on here is so cool and edgy and just saying like, oh, crazy stuff, and everyone's like, oh, I can't handle it because I'm too woke. Oh god, you're so cool, Lex Friedman. I realized that I was witnessing a mass exodus of the platform in real time. Turns out it was the largest exodus since Elon bought it back in 2022. All on the exact same day that I received my beautiful blue checkmark, which is insane for that to happen this week because that just leaves one person left on Twitter who is still woke, and it's Noam Chomsky. I was deep behind enemy lines, and all of my allies were retreating. Pretty soon,
That's funny.
Would be the last
He's got a good bit here.
bastion of wokeness, able to defend against the dark right, trying to find the light, while getting lost in the dark echo chamber of hate and bigotry. What was known to do? Breaking: Lindsey Graham has come out against Matt Gaetz for AG. Lindsey Graham came out. All right, so I'm done with this. I'm about to attack every single right-winger I see. For the first time ever, 2 black women will serve in the United States Senate simultaneously. Identity politics, all the way to the bitter end. It's called democracy, you racist dingleberry. Oh, and I'm not just calling out the right today. No, it is about time I start attacking the Democrats too. Breaking: election security experts have officially asked Biden to do an election recount on Trump's victory. They are citing potential breaches in voting machines. I responded and said, Dems didn't lose because of election interference. Dems lost because they have completely abandoned the middle class. Unless things radically change soon, the party and many politicians within it will always be captured by the corporations that they are indebted to. Oh, and a little extra surprise for all 4 of my Twitter followers that I know they're just gonna eat up. From each according to his abilities to each according to his needs. Everyone, please open your Communist Manifesto to page 1, because it's Marxist time. History.
I like it. I like the video.
First, as tragedy. Second, as farce. Welcome to the farce. Democrats can't be the pro-labor party while also being backed by billionaire donors. Again, just talking about transgender people. Like 50% of all the posts on this platform is something centered around trans people.
We went to Mariah's family thing, and when we got there, they had just finished doing the Trump dance. Which is good because I didn't have to jab my own eyes out. But
in a very negative light, obviously, that they can't wrap their head around it for some reason. I just can't imagine like walking down the street, seeing someone who's trans and having like a visceral reaction like they do. It's so like messed up. Like there's something broken in their brains. Yeah, you can't tell I'm a little triggered, so I ended up responding to a lot of people today. Imagine ever believing a 60-year-old man would win a professional boxing match. Come on, guys. Imagine believing your dumbass movie could win an Oscar. Come on, guys. So much so that my current total number of tweets is at 221. That's an average TPD of 55, which is still somehow less than Elon's. I actually don't understand.
I also got bored, went outside. I always carry a lockpick with me. And I was just bored walking around outside. Everybody knew I was outside. They saw me walk outside or whatever. And I always carry a lockpick with me. So he has like a shed in the back of his yard. So I walked over there and was playing with like the handle. I was like, I bet you I can pick that lock. That's just how I practice. Like I usually don't even the ski pole dance. I usually don't even like I don't use my key at the office or anything. I just pick a lock. So I just real quick picked it. It took like 2 seconds or whatever, turned around, and he had convinced everybody that I was a burglar in his backyard and had everybody at the window staring at me. So there's that.
Understand how he has time to rattle off so many tweets every day. I guess running a car, rocket, satellite.
It's only got like two, like those cheap ass fucking small key, like yard barn locks. They only got like fucking 2 tumblers in them or something. It took like a second.
Social media company, all while being the stand-in first lady, is actually pretty easy. He moves like a 40-pound toddler with a full diaper. It's time to torment Elon until he disables my account. What's up? It's day 5. This is my final day, so this is the big push until the end. And I think we can get it done. Population collapse. It's so funny that they're like so pro-population growth, but at the same time, they're anti-immigration. Like, which one is it? The woke don't believe in equality or giving people equal rights. They want special privileges for certain groups of minorities, and they want to kill or enslave all white people. It's really that simple. Source?
They want to kill or enslave all white people.
Yep, they really do hate white people. I remember feeling self-hate for being white when I was a liberal. They really do hate us and seek to make us hate ourselves. This is
I remember feeling self-hate for being white when I was a liberal.
wrong, and they are evil for doing this.
They do, and I'm tired of pretending they don't. Were you pretending that they didn't? You seemed pretty open about it before. Based. Agree. I concur. Very important we stand firm without demonizing. Think in situations like we are in. We stay smart, strong, and keep the light bright with love, but know when to say no for the common good. Eventually they will join our fester until they wither, humble at all times. Jesus Christ. We are dealing with adult children, so a firm, consistent no, maybe. The bright light of love feels very hateful sometimes. Do you support Tom Homan conducting worksite raids for illegal immigrants?
This is tricky, because this will also hurt businesses as well. They should focus on the troubles first and work their way to work sites. This
Site raids for illegal immigrants?
This is tricky.
National job site raids. Remember that housing crisis they were talking about?
Because this will also hurt businesses as well. They should focus on the troubles first and work their way to work sites. This gives people to get their affairs together.
What are you talking about, Dada? Yeah, it will hurt businesses. Why did you vote for the deportation of 30 million people?
It's not that tricky. It's simple. Do not enter this nation illegally. No excuses. Our immigration system has worked just fine since its inception. It needs no reform. It needs absolute enforcement. Agreed, but do we go after those who are not harming others first or take out the bad first?
They have no idea what they're talking about. We were watching Dada come to the realization that the deportation of every illegal migrant in the country actually hurts businesses. Because he
Dada.
Like, he's actually starting to have to think about it now when people are asking questions and, talking about actual policy. And now he's like, now that I have to think about it a little bit harder, I'm starting to realize that, oh, wait, maybe this might negatively impact me and others in the country. Illegal is illegal. They all have to go. What they were saying is there should be a priority list. Do you want them to go after illegal gangs that are murdering Americans, or the guy in the back of the kitchen who's done nothing wrong since arriving here first? Start with the violent criminals, then proceed. Do they realize that they're talking like an SS officer? This is so dumb. Costco shrank its seasonal toy aisle by 50%.
They don't.
This year. Depressing.
The signs of a declining birth rate are becoming increasingly stark.
You don't think toy sales are down because, I don't know, of kids having iPads and phones? Maybe just playing with toys less?
Legend.
Trump is pro-tariff and Malay is anti-tariff. Which do you like more?
Or we can't afford toys?
Because their economic plans are starkly different. He's probably going to respond and be like,
Malay? You mean like the vacuum cleaner?
Oh, we got Jordan Peterson showing up on my timeline. Perfect.
The more you care for others, the stronger you become.
You're a little baby boo-boo. Now it's time to wait and see if I got reported by anyone I happen to piss off along the way. In total, I tweeted 278 times, leading to an average TPD of 55.6. A total of 15 accounts replied to me, and I received 21 likes and 5 followers. Now, by looking back and analyzing my Noam Chomsky profile, I realized
I don't think he got kicked.
Actually focused on leftist rhetoric would only receive like 5 to 10 views. Now, of course, it takes time to organically grow any account on any social media platform. But Elon's Twitter seemed to only reward me when I was either fighting with someone or calling other users racist and dumb, which they are. And I would be lying if I said I didn't.
I swear, I think that's what it does. I think it spends all day trying to bait a fight out of you.
A lot of fun doing that. But for any new user joining this free speech platform, it seems like they were almost incentivized to immediately start disagreeing with someone right off the bat, because those posts get the most traction. And yeah, I know that any controversial or hateful take will always get more attention on any social media platform. That's just how modern day algorithms work. But as I was making this video, a new study published by the Queensland University of Technology literally yesterday found that after Elon's endorsement of Trump on July 13th, 2024, Musk's post received 138% more views and 238% more retweets than before that date. This research paper.
Yeah, because he left the Super Bowl and artificially pumped up his views, engagement.
Reports from the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post suggest that Twitter adjusted its algorithm to specifically boost not only Elon's, but other right-leaning accounts on the platform. With all of this information, I feel like Elon has just created a safe place for hateful people to say whatever they want with absolutely no consequences or backlash. Even if you agree with some of the far-right takes on Twitter, I just don't see how only being exposed to that is good for your mental health. I mean, everyone on there who is only consuming that type of content all day long must be genuinely so unhappy. I find it really ironic how the right-wingers on here will constantly talk about free speech and how the left want to censor them, when the only media they consume is propaganda. And all that right-wing propaganda does is embolden an easily manipulated base into voting for more populist politicians who only care about their own self-interest. They want you to be scared.
RFK's own statement. Hold on. What did he call them? He called them flesh dominoes. Is that what he said? I'll find it. Hold on. This is before he was basically campaigning for Trump. He had this fucking wild take. He's already had to apologize for it. Isn't that what he called him? Am I wrong, chat? Flesh dominoes. Wow, it looks like it's hidden on Twitter. Let's Google search it. I searched it on Twitter and I know that's where I heard it from. Okay, belligerent idiots. His own fucking statements, dude. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s defection to Donald Trump and the Republicans comes years after criticism of the former Democrat laid at Trump's feet. Kennedy, whom Trump has nominated the next U.S. Health Secretary, has previously also called President-elect a bully, a terrible president, and described his early political rise as scary. In a video that was widely shared online this week, sorry, an ad popped up. Amid widespread discussion of Trump's cabinet picks, commentators claimed that Kennedy had disparaged Trump's supporters too, saying he called them belligerent idiots, outright Nazis, and bootlickers. A post on X, let's see if we can grab it then. Listen.
One of the things that
this is RFK on Trump and his supporters.
You know, one of the things that you write so beautifully, and your stuff is so fun to read, but you write about Trump. Quote, the way that you build a truly vicious nationalist movement is to wed a relatively small core of belligerent idiots to a much larger group of opportunists and spineless fellow travelers whose primary function is to turn a blind eye to things. We may not have that many outright Nazis in America, but we have plenty of cowards and bootlickers, and once those fleshy dominoes start tumbling into the Trump camp.
So he's saying we don't have that many outright Nazis, but they support Trump. And then we have fucking bootlickers. They support Trump. All this is going to the Trump camp.
Things. We may not have that many outright Nazis in America, but we have plenty of cowards and bootlickers, and once those fleshy dominoes start tumbling into the Trump camp, the game is up. When you talk about fleshy dominoes, Chris Christie comes to mind.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, one of the things that...
Now, that's the clip from a radio show or a podcast or something is, and he says... So it says the passage itself doesn't outright call Trump supporters belligerent idiots, but strongly connects them to that insult. Importantly, these were Kennedy's words, although his praise of the passage suggests he, at the very least, sympathized with his sentiment. And here's his apology. Like many Americans, I allowed myself to believe the mainstream media's distorted dystopian portrait of President Trump. I no longer hold this belief and now regret having made those statements. President Trump has a tremendous vision for our country that will not only make our country healthy again, but will lower the cost of living for all Americans, stop endless wars, protect free speech, and secure our southern border, and make our country great again. Tell me you do a complete fucking 180 without fucking... That's wild. I am proud to serve in President Trump's administration. He's ridiculed him for years until this go around. Trump's presidency has not just discredited our nation, but the entire American experiment in self-government, he said in Newsweek in 2018. Trump called Kennedy one of the most liberal lunatics ever to run for office, adding that he is a phony radical left fool whose poll numbers are terrible and getting worse. But now they're like best friends. Weird. Kind of strange, no? Yeah. You'll have that on these big jobs. I don't know what to tell you. Shit's wild, dude.
Then, when I let her up, thinking she's calmed down, she grabs a can of corn and she hit me right there. And I saw stars.
Can of corn.
And then I looked on the floor, there was corn everywhere. I didn't even know I was bleeding.
Yeah, Timmy said that you're a redneck. That's
Yes,
what he
I
said, because he
am.
said you jumped on her like a grown man.
She hit me.
Well, you have every right to defend yourself. That's what I'm saying. But he said you took care of yourself pretty well.
Yeah, until I got hit with a can of corn.
Did you buy that can of corn?
Yes. I bought the damn can she hit me with. She going to jail. I want her to go to jail.
Yeah, she's gonna go to jail.
And for what?
For battery.
Too bad it can't be aggravated with a can of corn.
Well, yeah, it might end up being aggravated with a can of corn.
Did she clean all the corn up?
She actually threw the can of corn in the woods. Patricia, where's that can of corn?
The attempted murder weapon.
That got thrown.
I don't want to go to jail.
Okay, so where'd you put the can of corn?
It's gone. It's out in the woods somewhere.
You threw it out in the woods?
Yep.
Where'd you throw it out in the woods at?
Out there somewhere. As far as I could.
You don't got like a Troy Aikman arm, do you?
I don't know.
Democrats are like, presidents don't control gas prices. Yet these same people are saying gas better be $1.50 on January 21st. Make it make.
I'll try.
Yeah, because Trump claimed that he controls gas prices.
I'll try to make it make sense. It's a joke, dude. We're joking. Although all great jokes need an explanation, so here it is. For 4 years, you blamed Joe Biden for high gas prices. You printed out stickers pointing at the prices on gas pumps saying, I did that, despite it not having to do anything with the U.S. president, despite the entire world experiencing high gas prices post-COVID recovery. You blamed it on the pipeline, which was wrong. You blamed it on lower production, which was actually the opposite of what was happening. And for 4 years, you kept it up, despite us trying to explain what supply and demand was to you. So when your guy takes office on January 21st and is predictably not able to bring gas prices crashing down to active pandemic levels where there is no demand and a ton of supply, we're going to turn to you and say, hey, man, why is Trump not lowering gas prices like you said he was going to? And you're going to have to learn all the shit that we learned to try and explain this to you for the last 4 years. And finally, you'll fucking get it. Maybe. Who knows? I
doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. It says Hassan is now trying to act like he predicted that Kamala Harris would lose the election. But this was his prediction pre-election, by the way.
Main pastime on the left, other than being mad for the last few weeks, is everyone saying how right they were all along about Democrats being out of touch and bound to lose.
Arrest me. Sorry. So.
Ooh, hold on. I want you guys to see this. Arrest me. I sat here and said that she was going to lose. No, he fucking didn't. I've seen it.
Mad for the last few weeks is everyone saying how right they were all along about Democrats being out of touch and bound to lose.
Arrest me. Sorry.
Arrest me, guys.
I sat at this chair. Well, maybe not at this chair, but I had the offline interview with John. I think a month before the election, and a lot of the concerns that I brought up to him, it seemingly came across as somewhat prescient, where people went back to the footage, and I've been seeing comments that were rather positive about, like, okay, he said a lot of stuff there that was objectively correct, seeming.
Yeah, I want to talk about one aspect of that.
Is that somebody? I saw somebody post on the subreddit that it's not even true that he said that he thought Kamala was going to win. I don't even know if.
No, he predicted it.
To it, but.
Which is that
flashback.
I still, however, maintain the position until this day, and I still maintain this position that Kamala Harris will most likely win the election come tomorrow.
Okay.
And this is not just me looking at the polls, even though
the day before.
of course, I have looked at the polls this entire time, but also
I hate how he changes everything to fit whatever's going on.
looking at the vibes. I don't just do poll analysis, I do polls plus vibes.
Like, it's so, dude, I can't live in this world. It's boring. The problem is that it's boring to me. Like, all the fact gathering and all the research and the reading, everything, like, none of it matters because you just go on and, like,
I still maintain this position that Kamala Harris will most likely win the election come tomorrow.
Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks is saying in a recent tweet from 9 hours ago, says, I've been trying to figure out why I'm more optimistic now than I was before the election, even though I was so against the guy who won. I know now MAGA is not my mortal enemy, and neither is the extreme left. My mortal enemy is the establishment, and they have been defeated. Trump brings the establishment with him. There was not an anti-establishment candidate. They also talked about Elon Musk. He retweeted Elon Musk or replied to Elon Musk about working for the Department of, Department of Government, whatever it is, the Doge Department. And Elon's like, we might look into that. Now he's trying to get a job in the administration.
I hope it's true. I hope it's true. I hope it's true. They're trying to come up with some sort of a. Zelensky tried to come on.
Whoa!
Yeah, they tried to get Zelensky on. I was like, what are you talking about?
When you get an offer for somebody, they must come at your bookers or whatever.
So he refused to have Zelensky on?
Do you like stop and like, hold on, let me.
Basically, which is what he praises all the time, right? That's what modern day Russia is oligarchy. Putin in charge with basically an iron fist. But there's also a lot of powerful and wealthy families around him. That's why they had to back off some of the draft stuff, because the wealthy families were like, oh, our kids could be affected.
Let me think about this, whether I want to be part of the story
100%.
or not, whether it'll be interesting or not.
Well, I wanted to stay out of the presidential election shit.
Yeah, what happened?
Joe Rogan wanted to stay out of the presidential election shit. Makes sense. Barron Trump, they tried to assassinate you. They failed. They tried to charge you falsely. They failed. Now you are here, Dad, the 47th president of the United States of America. Congratulations, Trump. I like my suitcase. Son to the 45th and 47th president of the United States of America. Oh, this is a parody account, maybe? Have you guys seen the, Okay, it's definitely a parody account. Hold on. Yeah, I think it's definitely a parody. God saved Dad that day. Have you guys seen I Like My Suitcase? You guys seen Barron Trump? As a child.
I like my suitcase. I have to.
I like my suitcase.
Go to school now.
Yeah, you will have.
He spent so much time with his mom, and without his dad, he's got her accent.
I like my suitcase.
I like my suitcase.
I have to go to school now.
Yeah, you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Now
That's why it sounds so weird. He has her accent.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, first you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Now you can do reading, writing, and arithmetic.
I like my suitcase.
Suitcase.
I like my suitcase. God damn. He's already fucking 6'9". His dad's a fucking tool bag. I wonder what his friends think of him. I'm sure they're all bought and paid for. I don't know. I like my suitcase. I love my suitcase.
How many times as a liberal have you been on a show and you've been forced to disavow all of the BLM rights, disavow all of the violence and blah, blah, blah. And then you talk to conservatives about it.
Disavowing violence,
that was
that's
false
good.
flag.
Yeah.
January 6th. Oh, like conservatives disavow January 6th?
Wait. First, there's an entire cultural machine.
Hold on.
How many times as a liberal have you been on a show and you've been forced to disavow all of the BLM rights, disavow all of the violence and blah, blah, blah. And then you talk to conservatives about it.
Disavowing violence.
Disavowing violence is good.
That was
that's
false
good.
flag.
Yeah.
January.
That's good.
Oh, like conservatives disavow January 6th?
Wait. First off, there's an entire cultural machine that has lied. There is an entire
we just saw it in real time. That's it.
What?
That's why conservatives deserve absolutely zero sympathy for anything that happens as a result of their rhetoric. That's it. It's so easy. Like, it's so simple.
Okay, but I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about, but I would say this is the type of person that the internet has broke their brain, thus leaving them with very little.
Dude, that was a perfect fucking synopsis of what you guys do. So they want you to disavow any violence, any threats, any assassination attempts, anybody calling somebody a Nazi, anybody with this rhetoric like, we've got our sights set on Trump. But you're like, January 6th, wait. There's a large media conglomerate machine that, if disavowing violence is good, why wouldn't you just say, I disavow the violence of January 6th? Because they fucking loved it, dude. That was their plan.
Empathy for their co-human.
There is no room for the hand-wringing, and I will not participate in this anymore.
Oh, it's not hand-wringing.
In the hand-wringing. No, it absolutely is.
No, it's just that you are positioning yourself.
So well.
No, but when you are in a world where
conservatives can say anything.
No, I'm not a conservative.
They can have any conspiracy theory.
I'm not a conservative.
They can have any...
Is everybody still believing Piers Morgan that he's a far leftist?
They can do anything, and
not a Trump cocksucker.
And then liberals are supposed to sit here and be like, oh my God, it's so tragic.
No, Destiny.
Absolutely not. How many times as a liberal have you been on a show and you've been forced to disavow?
Piers Morgan is just Team Trump.
In the wealthiest nation.
What's with all these base Destiny clips?
We have 600,000 people sleeping outside every night.
Homelessness was a huge motivator for the 2016 election. Then why is it that the states with the most amount of homelessness all vote blue? What? Like, it's so stupid. Like, I feel like I'm watching like grade school analysis. Like, when did the professionals come on and do real political analysis? Like, where are those people at? Do they have jobs in this field? Like, why do I have to listen to amateur hour? It feels like being a professional StarCraft 2 player. And it's like, okay, we're going to get the analysis today. And you bring on like 2 Silver League people who are like, okay, well, today we're going to talk about why this guy won or this guy lost the game. And it's like, what? You guys don't even know what you're talking about. Like, why? He's just narrativizing. Yeah, his perspective is he's a far left, like a super radical socialist communist. So every single thing that happens in an election.
I don't know if Pierce is just like, maybe he saw that Trump would likely win or thought that Trump would win. So Trump has this thing where like the press that's mean to him, they don't get interviews and shit. Right, and that affects his ratings. If he's just trying to make a play to interview him more often, or maybe he wants to fucking get a position, I don't fucking know.
It's going to be through the...
I mean, it's for the views. The shit he does is for the views.
Of like whatever weird Marxist class obsessive shit that he wants to talk about as a wealthy, rich capitalist. This is also why I like it when people...
But to continue to... I mean, he fucking toes the line for Trump at every step of the way. And the only time that anybody can get on anything is he'll be like, well, yeah, I did think January 6th was horrible, but I don't think Trump had anything to do with it. That kind of shit, right? He toes the line for Trump perfectly every chance he gets. And then when someone's like, this right-wing bull, I'm not right-wing. I'm not conservative. That's the first thing he comes up with. You can't argue with me because I'm on the same side as you. I just see it for what it is.
Let's get into the weeds. Let's get into some numbers or some data, because otherwise there's like stories that you tell yourself to. Does any of this map on to reality? Just think about things he said, like homelessness was the reason why we got crushed in 2016. Well, first of all, Hillary won by millions of votes in the popular vote. Across the swing states, it was like tens of thousands of votes that would have changed the outcome of the election. Hillary was also like the relentless target of Republican smear tactics for literally decades. And then all the states that are experiencing these problems the most are the states that are blue, are solid blue. So what are we even, like, what the fuck are we even talking about here? Like none of this is actually reducible to any reality or any fact of the matter.
The notion that in the wealthiest nation on earth,
I don't know what the meaning of...
What is going on? Why is it all Destiny?
I don't know what the meaning of that question is, or how I'm supposed to answer it. I don't know.
You don't know what the meaning.
I'm not on his page. I'm just on TikTok.
That the Democrats have lost touch.
I mean,
with
like
what
the
drives
lost touch, yeah,
people
in
to
a
the
way.
polls?
But in terms of like lost touch, it's not so much that like you're losing touch. It's that a lot of it is dictated by the media environment as well. Like Republicans are able to tell people what they should care about, and then they do care about.
Oh shit! I know why Destiny's trending. I just typed it in on Twitter. There's apparently a Destiny porn video that leaked. So I don't know if you guys know, but there's been some of his Discord conversations, like intimate conversations leaked where he was talking about, he had an open marriage, I guess. So he was talking to like women and about stuff that he was into. And like if my shit got leaked, it would be, I'd be like, look like a fucking weirdo, right? But obviously his stuff was put out there and everybody was talking about it, discussing it, going back and forth. But now it seems like there's an actual porn video that's out. Rumor, Destiny porn video leaked online. It's from Kiwi Farms. It says pornography featuring what appears to be Destiny, the political streamer, giving and receiving oral sex with various identifiable women and men has been released. If any party consented to the release is not known, out of abundance of caution, I will not provide any direct links.
About those things, and without Republicans harping on those issues,
he's bisexual,
wouldn't care about those things. So it's not a matter of like, are you in touch or out of touch? It's a matter of like, are you touching them and making them care about the things that you care about? A person who lives in Pennsylvania is never going to give a fuck about asylum seekers or illegal immigration without Republicans blaring that 24/7 across all the media. A voter in Wisconsin is going to care about Leah Thomas or Iman Khalif or trans athletes without Republicans blaring that 24/7. So to say like Democrats are out of touch because they didn't signal better on these like trans issues, when the only reason people care about those trans issues is because Republicans are telling them to, is it's kind of a putting the cart before the horse question. I don't know what the meaning of that question is or how I'm supposed to answer.
Well, I guess I just don't like, even if it's something that I don't jive with, right? Like obviously I'm not bisexual. Does that affect any of his takes that he has on politics?
Say that President Trump is unfit to take the presidency. Why is that?
I would say that one of the most important
Damn, it's Destiny again.
Americans is our form of government and things like respecting the peaceful transfer of power. I think that being able to concede when you've lost an election is really important. So I would argue that the events that took place leading up to and on January 6th are in and of themselves, among a whole bunch of other actions, immediately disqualifying for the office of presidency.
Okay, so Steve, let's talk about January 6th. What happened that day in your mind, and why does that disqualify President Trump?
I think that Donald Trump was unwilling to accept the results of the elections. I think that he fabricated slates of electors in order to have his vice president pick him to be the winner in the Capitol building on January 6th, even though he didn't have the votes or the evidence to support it. I think that is a wholly undemocratic thing. I think that it is destructive and undermines our democratic process of governance.
Do you attribute the violence on January 6th to Trump?
Largely, yes.
Okay, why?
I think that Donald Trump had been stoking the flames a year before the election, saying that the election was going to be rigged. I think that Donald Trump stoked all of these claims basically with no evidence, and then I think that he continued to stoke the flames while fabricating them, that the election had been stolen, that there was voter fraud, and then he invited people on the day of the certification, telling them that their election had been stolen, their country was being taken from them, they needed to fight like hell, that they were going to lose everything. He knew what he was inviting them there for. He knew what he was asking them to do. He knew, yeah.
He also told them to go down to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically, right? What time did protesters first go into the Capitol? What time did they first enter the Capitol?
I think it was around 10 a.m. I think is when the Capitol grounds were breached.
No, 2:11 p.m.
No, to be clear, that's not true.
2:11 p.m. is when protesters first entered the United States Capitol.
There's the grounds that were secured outside, though.
Okay.
Those grounds were breached while Trump was still giving his speech at the Ellipse.
Okay, let's talk about the entrance of the Capitol, because that would be more severe in your mind than simply walking onto the property, right? And you can see
that was the entrance of the. I mean, they broke the window.
That point?
Probably not. I think they were all really bad, but yeah.
Okay. Well, entering the Capitol, let's just mark that point. 2:11. What should Trump have done at that point?
As soon as the Capitol grounds themselves were breached, he probably should have put out a statement on social media.
Destiny, someone says, you the guy that lets your girl sleep with other men while you watch? Yeah, sit this one out on standards, guy. And he says, hey, at least my relationship was open, unlike Trump when he was cheating on his wife. that had just birthed a child while he was off fucking porn stars and stealing voter donor money to hide it.
Telling people that they needed to go home instead of telling them that Pence had failed them and basically encouraging the violence to continue.
So what if I told you at 2:38 p.m. President Trump tweeted, "Stay peaceful." He tweeted that to his supporters, "Stay peaceful."
He tweeted
27 minutes later.
He tweeted that after Ashley Babbitt, I believe, had already been shot and killed.
Okay,
so what does it mean when you tell your people to stay peaceful? They're not being peaceful. That doesn't make any sense,
p.m.
right?
2:38 p.m. 27 minutes after the Capitol had been, protesters had entered. He said, "Stay peaceful." Okay.
I'm pretty sure some Destiny porn's been linked before.
3:13, he said law and order. At 4:17, he posted a video saying, "Go home now." So what on earth was he supposed to have done? I'm not happy about some of the violence that we saw on January 6th, but let's put it in context.
Well,
Steve.
wait. You just said it. You just said what he should have done. The tweet that he did at 4:17.
No, that was a video. That was the third call.
It was it was the first time that he told them to go home.
Stay peaceful 27 minutes after the Capitol protest had entered the Capitol?
After Ashley Babbitt had already been shot and killed. They weren't being peaceful. Why are we saying
after she had been shot and killed?
Stay peaceful. At this point, Pence had already been...
How many
doesn't matter. It's a red herring. Hold on. Do you acknowledge that people broke into the Capitol?
What do you mean by break into the Capitol?
As in smashed... They entered it illegally. They
100,000 people were there that day. How many were charged with crimes? 100,000 people there. How many charged with crimes?
Do you acknowledge that people
How
broke
many
into
were
the
charged
Capitol?
with crimes then?
How many people in the BLM riots were charged with crimes? This is a red herring.
No, it's
How
not.
many people who...
You said they're violent. How many were there that day? 100,000. How many were charged with crimes? It's the largest FBI investigation in history. 1,550.
It's not relevant at all.
Have been charged with crimes. How can you say they were all violent?
It's not relevant.
How can you say they were all violent?
The first people that got into the Capitol, did they break in?
Is January 6th your only reason why he's unfit?
Wait. Did the first people into the Capitol break in?
Is January 6th the only reason he's
unwilling to answer that question?
Is January 6th the only reason?
Unwilling to answer? You can say yes, you don't want to answer it, and then move on because you know the implications are terrible for you. That's fine if you want to.
The reality of the situation is...
The reality of the situation is people broke into the Capitol. They delayed the certification.
What is the number one issue for voters?
They delayed the certification of the vote. Did they not? It doesn't...
The vote was certified. Was it?
Someone said, "God damn, Destiny's really going all out marketing the release of his new OnlyFans page."
Not certified?
Was there a delay in the certification? Was there a delay in the certification? It was because the National Guard showed up and they kicked the people out after Donald Trump was forced to tell them they were going home after watching them break in for 3 hours and do nothing. By your own admission,
let's have a productive conversation.
No, we're not having a productive one because you're not answering any of my questions.
Keep going. Okay.
Yeah, I asked you very simple.
So I think we see why Destiny's trending.
Candy, bad candy. Homeless tip number 3. When you're living in... Fuck's sake.
Pay to win servers.
I kind of want to check on Scott Waddles.
I posted this video 2 days ago. It got this many views, all because I said I purchased the viral Samsung Frame TV.
I'm doing the dishes, cause I hope my missus sees me thinks to herself, I'm gonna suck his dick in, so I don't even start till she home, cause he doesn't see me.
JD Vance, where he's like the woman in the relationship. Dude, there's something wrong with that dude. There's something fucking wrong with him. Like, he could have been a guy in a business suit, right? He didn't need to be the wife. Not to mention they're serving up America on a platter for people to carve up like they're wealthy donors. But he didn't need to be the woman. He tweeted this out himself. Oh, dude, we got to break out that review of, what's the name of his movie? That was probably my best movie review I've ever did. That fat lard piece of shit. That was a good movie review. He didn't have to do this. Is someone making him do this? It's like some type of embarrassment ritual or something. Shit blows my mind sometimes.
Then she might not know. that I'm scrubbing these pots and pans all clean, 'cause I'm tired of rubbing my own damn meat. And she'll walk through the door and she'll see me clean and drop her knees to the floor and then set me free. I'm doing the dishes, but not for free. I'm hoping the missus will suck my meat. If this doesn't work and she don't drain my balls,
it's a bop, dude.
The dishes for nothing at all. Soap and water got my wiener harder than a rock. I'm ready for my lady to start. Suck it off. I'm waiting, rinsing this last plate.
Oh shit, we missed that. We missed the big finale.
Lady to start. Suck it off. I'm waiting, rinsing this last plate clean. I'm wasting this water 'cause she's gotta see that I'm scrubbing these. I'm doing.
That's pretty good, to be honest with you. Nick Fuentes got a uber hot take. Imagine that.
Ultimately, what it means to be a simp is to perform and signal for a prospective wife that you will not engage in sexual violence. Like, that's really what it comes down to. When a man performs in a way to be...
Wouldn't you want your wife to think you're not going to engage in sexual violence? Like, do you want your wife to worry that when you go out, you're going to rape somebody?
Wife, that you will not engage in sexual violence. Like, that's really what it comes down to. When a man performs in a way to be perceived as cute, adorable, pure, innocent, that...
By the way, he is... And he is an incel, right? He did... When he talks about sex, he's like, ooh, right? I think he's into dudes, but at least he's not into women.
That is signaling no sexual violence or violence of any kind. That's what that is supposed to signal. It's supposed to be a giant green traffic signal that says, I'm safe. And I actually don't think that's a signal that men should be sending right now, because to signal safe is to signal a lack of aggression. It's to signal a form of submission and deference to females. I don't think that's healthy.
My favorite pickup line was no words, just to come up, drop down to one knee and punch them right in the ovaries. What you do is you bruise their ovaries, and what you're letting them know is that we're going to be fucking, and we won't be making a baby tonight. Your ovaries are damaged. But later, I'll be back to make offspring when you've healed yourself. And I think that's the way you should start every relationship.
I think that men should be signaling aggression. I think that men should be signaling violence. I don't think that men should be violent, but I think that men should signal that they're capable of it. I think that men should signal.
I don't use roofies. I use prenatal vitamins just to get them in that habit. Coming back to make babies later.
Know that is something that people should expect from them. And I think that that's a better attitude. So, that's why people call Andrew Tate a rapist, human trafficker, and he makes jokes like that. And
well, he's a rapist, human trafficker.
They call him an abuser, and this.
He's an abuser. So,
versus someone that a woman says, "Aw." I mean, think about that on a deep level. When you look at a baby, you go, "Aw, isn't it cute?" When you look at a puppy, you say, "Aw, isn't that puppy adorable?" And when a man posts a wife jack and says, "She's my little queen and I wouldn't have it any other way," what does a woman say? Aw. What do they all have in common? Can do no harm, pose no threat, vulnerable, weak, defenseless, helpless, dependent.
These are the same people that were wondering why people were choosing to be alone in the woods with a bear instead of a man.
Contingent. It signals all of those things. Do you want a woman to have the same reaction when they see you as when they see a baby that they feed with their breasts, or a puppy or a bunny? No.
Why did the feed with their breasts need to be? That's some weird mommy issues, bro. A baby that they feed milk out of their boobies. Or a puppy.
dependent, contingent. It signals all of those things. Do you want a woman to have the same reaction when they see you as when they see a baby that they feed with their breasts, or a puppy, or a bunny? No. And that's the difference between calling something cute and calling something hot. Because what is a hot woman? It's a woman that you want to have sex with. It's a woman that, you want her to, well, we don't need to get super graphic here or whatever, but you intend on taking her.
What if your fetish is bunnies and puppies?
That's hot, mature, okay, ripe. And when a woman calls a man hot, what's a hot man? Okay, pause. But when a woman calls a man hot and a woman is aroused, it's a man who's strong. It's a man who is going to be forceful, who is going to be physically coercive, okay?
Bro, I've been married for 15 years. I got 2 kids, and I was just the funny guy. That's it.
That's the difference. Now, do you want a woman to say, this is a man that I'm going to hold like a little baby. That's a man, my husband, I'm going to hold his head in my arms like a baby, and I'm going to stroke his head, and I'm going to say, you're my little husband, you're my little baby. Do you want a woman to look at you like that, or for a woman to say you're hot? Oh my gosh. The things I would do. That's what you want, and pause. But let's be adults. That is, you want to be looked at as sexual.
Apparently, every time he starts going down a homosexual road, he says pause. That's why he keeps saying pause.
Meaning pertaining to the sexes, male and female, to their reproductive faculties, the active and the passive. You want to be seen as active. You want to be seen as aggressive, not as weak and defenseless and baby-like.
Over and over, I keep going over.
There's something wrong with him, right?
Yeah, I got married. It didn't help.
Oh, you've been married and you're no longer married.
We are separated, impending divorce.
Is that finances at all?
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Well, how was that messing with the finances?
Well, before I got married, all of my credit cards were paid off. I had 0 balances on all my credit cards. And then
when did you get married?
I got married December 16th, 2023.
Oh, that is, wow, less than a year ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, we are getting divorced. I filed the annulment paperwork June 17th.
There's so much credit card debt here. How did this all happen in 8 months?
He did not have a job.
Okay. Why are him not having a job impacting your credit cards?
We lived together. I had to support this man.
Yeah, but you made above the median household income. You
for
alone.
One person.
No. Median household, meaning usually 2 incomes.
Not necessarily.
Yes, because the median salary in Austin is $55,000. Median household income is $75,000.
Okay.
You make above the median household.
Okay, but that
you could.
This guy's rude as fuck, but it's pretty good videos.
Technically, if budgeted correctly.
Okay, I budget.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a starting point. So why are you blaming it on that then?
Well, because it is his fault. He used my
I don't budget, so we don't know where our money's going, but it's also completely his fault.
Well, it's not completely his fault, but it is his fault. I had to support a whole other human being.
Okay, why was he not working?
He wasn't working because he was undocumented.
Oh, rip. Is that why the marriage was being a marriage?
No.
Okay, why is the marriage ending so immediately?
Because he decided he wanted to send a pic to some 20-year-old in Argentina.
That is a long-distance pic. Ooh.
I wish I knew Spanish so I could ask her if she was satisfied with it or not, because it is, objects appear bigger than they actually are in real life in photos.
Have you practiced that one?
No.
Okay.
That's off the cuff.
Wow.
I'm full of them.
Okay. Yeah.
This man
don't do that, guys.
No, definitely. I would not recommend.
She married a stranger after knowing him for 3 weeks, an undocumented stranger.
Especially if you have not had, discussions about eating habits and things of that nature. Like, this man literally wanted somewhere to stay for free.
Wait, what are you talking about?
This man had a 4-course breakfast every day, continental breakfast every day.
How did you not know this before marriage?
We didn't live together before we got married.
You don't want to test the waters first?
I will next time. Damn straight, we're doing.
How long were you guys together before you got? First of all, I'll be honest. I know the finances here are messed up. I didn't even know marriage was a part of this conversation. So this is like blowing my mind right now. But okay, the T side of me,
I know you want to know.
The Springer side of me, gets a little excited. Yeah. How long were you guys dating before?
3 weeks.
Okay, what was this? What the?
Okay, I will tell you.
This is crazy.
I will be completely.
Yes, please do, because
transparent. I kind of binge watched too many episodes of Married at First Sight and what's the other one when you date in the pods or whatever. I applied for these shows 4 times. I actually almost got an interview with a producer on Married at First Sight.
Oh, she was trying to get in one of these reality shows.
But it but it didn't quite happen. And so I got on Tinder and I started talking to this guy and I hit it off with him. I thought he was great. He said he had a CPA. I mean, he gave me his resume. Gave me his resume and everything. So I looked him up. He was from Bogota, Colombia, which appealed to me because, you know, el latón la ver, right?
Sure, that means something to someone. Sure.
So we just got to talking. We FaceTimed every single day. And then I started talking about how I really desired to be a partner because one of my, what do you call that? Unrealistic fears is going to sleep and not waking up and nobody knows and nobody finds my body for days because I live alone, etc. And he's like, yeah, I'm older too, because he was 50 at the time. And so it just made sense. We were like, you know what? We're old enough to know what we want. I want to be with you. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess we can try it. So he drove from Washington.
Marriage is kind of an aggressive try.
Well, we didn't get married right immediately. What happened? He drove from Washington. Took him 3 days to get here. So once he moved in, then it was, okay, well, we're going to live together.
I like that. I like that mansion where they got the boys fucking their moms or whatever.
I have to add you to other things. And then he's like, because then he sprung on me that we were engaged on Facebook.
Well, that doesn't matter though.
We didn't, I know Facebook is totally not real.
One, how is that not a red flag? And two, that also just doesn't matter in terms of you didn't have to be engaged just because he pushed a button on Facebook.
Well, I mean, at the same time, be together. I'm old, well, not old, but like I'm older. And
Listen, I get the fear of growing old without love. That's one of my fears,
without
and it's
love,
happening.
Without all the good things, right?
Well,
and so
you don't need love.
You don't, but like, you know, I'm stingy when it comes to, so it's like, I want to be my, but anyway.
Not 20-year-olds?
No, they're not good at it. So,
I'm not the other. Sure.
I'm sorry. So 15 days after he moved in, he's like, let's just get married. Actually, no, it wasn't 15. It was 7 days after he moved in. He's like, let's just get married. And I'm like, well, we have to get a license. We got to wait. We went and got the license.
Are you sure he wasn't trying to green card this?
I promise you, because as soon as
Why
we got
did he want to get married?
he didn't say. He said he just wanted to be with me. And then every time we talked about our air quote marriage, it was, we're working on it. It's a relationship. And I'm like, no. This is a marriage. This is more serious than that.
So you don't know why he wanted to get married, but you're confident it wasn't an immigration marriage?
Because he never pushed for a green card. We even went through a service to try to get him citizenship so that he could work, so that we could stop using my credit cards.
Work at all?
He ultimately, I forced him to use DoorDash because he was not making any.
So run DoorDash?
Sorry?
So he was a runner.
Yes, under my social security number.
Oh.
After he tried
that feels
yeah, I know.
Legally questionable.
Okay, it gets better. Before that, because again, he was a CPA in Colombia.
You do like reality TV, don't you? Because like you're coming on here and you're like giving us reality TV.
Well, I mean, you want to know the story.
Yeah.
So like he was a CPA in Colombia, so he wanted to do taxes. So he signed up for a program to do taxes. This is before tax season.
Okay.
But because he's undocumented, has no social security number, the business is in my name.
And I hear you don't pay your taxes.
On time, I don't. No, I'm working on that.
So maybe this was a good relationship.
Maybe, but
easy, Phil.
That he was supposed to bring money in. I had anticipated him bringing money in by April because, you know, he's starting from zero, but he just was resistant.
I mean, to be very clear, obviously you guys got married way too early.
Way too early.
It's like not even questionable. You didn't even know how many meals he like ate.
Had I known that alone, that this man literally had to have a continental breakfast every morning, I literally would not have married.
And it wasn't true love at that point. You guys couldn't have known. That's hard to know. And then the dude's out there sending pictures of that, you know, uncut euro. So
it was uncut.
Oh yeah, he's from South America. He's from anywhere outside of the United States.
He's from anywhere else. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was.
Welcome to Financial Auditor.
One of the worst mistakes I've ever made.
Jesus Christ.
Americans voted for Trump. It happened. This is a movie called Idiocracy. Bear with me, I'm not making fun of anyone. This movie came out in 2006, 18 years ago, and before the time of many young voters today, which is a pity because it contains some serious...
Have you guys seen Idiocracy? I've seen it just because I think after the first Trump election, people were talking about it.
Serious foreshadowing. The movie is basically a satirical look at a society becoming...
Should we have a movie night on Kick?
...legend over time because of the glorification of ignorance and mindless entertainment. Ultimately, it's an exaggerated comedy, but it has strong links to trends that we see today. Dwayne Elizondo Mountain Dew Herbert Camacho is a former wrestler, reality star, and president of the United States. Now he delivers over-the-top speeches, plays to the crowd, and prioritizes showmanship over substance. Unfortunately, this means that he has very little understanding of policy or how to govern. Donald Trump's background as a businessman and reality TV star made him a cultural icon, and people started to appreciate his unfiltered attitude. His political rise started to reflect a shift towards valuing celebrity appeal and charisma over traditional political experience. Now, in truth, his speeches have very little substance, and his policies are incredibly damaging to large parts of the population. His leadership style relies on spectacle, simple but misleading messaging, and loyalty to him is more important than listening to experts. This anti-intellectual
It's so sad.
With the growing distrust of experts and science across America. You see, experts are now seen as untrustworthy or even anti-American. Even if you're not in America, you may be accused of being part of the establishment.
I wish that fucking demon that Tucker Carlson was fighting in his sleep, I wish the demon would have won.
Science is, of course, still highly respected by many people in America, but the recent election results show the realities of how the thought processes of the American majority are shifting away from education, away from expertise, and more towards rhetoric and simple messaging. Catchphrases replaces policy discussion, and the population reacts to emotional appeals instead of logical arguments. Trump and some Republican leaders have adopted this style. They use catchy slogans. They do this to distract and engage people, and it works because it's easy to grasp and it evokes strong emotional responses. Now, the tactic is to make you treat politics like cheering for your favorite football team, so that instead of caring about the governance, you only care about winning. It's highly effective, mobilizes strong support, but it comes at cost of truly understanding the complexity of government. And this is likely why Google searches for "what is a tariff" increased after the election. The movie shows how entertainment and media are reduced to lowbrow, mind-numbing spectacles designed for maximum visceral reaction. In our world today, the influence of sensationalist media, here we're talking cable news, social media, and of course TikTok's algorithm, has polarized audiences and created echo chambers where we as individuals receive a highly curated version of news that aligns with our beliefs. We don't see the other side of TikTok. Social media platforms too play a role in reinforcing bias and sensationalism because they amplify content that drives engagement regardless of whether it's based in fact. Now, coming back to Idiocracy, we see how corporations run almost every aspect of society. Brawndo is an energy drink that has replaced water. Like, we quite literally need water to survive. Now, consumerism is extreme and people's identities and clothing revolve around brand loyalty and consumption. The simple truth, corporate interests have significant influence in American politics, particularly through lobbying, campaign donations, and media sponsorships, which leads to some interesting irony because the voter base tends to be skeptical of big tech or the elite, while at the same time embracing consumer culture and brand-oriented identity in ways that echo Idiocracy's world. How many products did Trump sell this past year? Watches, sneakers, NFTs, coins, Bibles. A politician is making money off of Jesus. Idiocracy shows that leaders like Camacho represent the everyman, someone who appeals to the masses by seeming relatable.
That's where they give the Gatorade to the plants. It's got electrolytes.
Genuine and anti-establishment.
That's what plants crave.
But he's charismatic. He's just like you, and that appeals to an anti-elite sentiment. Again, painfully ironic that Trump inspires anti-elitism while literally being a member of the elite. What he does is he positions himself as a fighter against the establishment, and many of his supporters see him as one of them, despite his claims of wealth and status. You see, he's crafted a persona, one that resonates with people who feel ignored by traditional institutions, much like Camacho's appeal in The Populace of Idiocracy. And this populist approach downplays expertise in favor of relatability, a trend that aligns with the film's satirical portrayal of leadership. However, how relatable should a convicted felon, fraudster, and sexual predator be? And just to be clear, that is not libel, that is a legal statement of fact. Idiocracy is a fun, exaggerated, satirical look at the fears of a society trending towards intellectual decay. The reality of America today is, of course, more nuanced, but it is dangerously close. We need Americans to value education, to value critical thinking, and to value our responsibility to this planet.
But Brawndo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes. Americans voted for Trump. It happened.
It's got electrolytes. You ever think that I'm not here to judge, and I think that a lot of the conspiracy theories about people in Hollywood are incredibly horrible, right? And just because they're like movie stars or whatever doesn't mean you should be able to say some of the things they do. Or even like Michelle Obama, right? That's incredibly horrible and damaging. Or Barack Obama not being a citizen. But you ever think sometimes like why sometimes celebrities play like Diddy, right? Sometimes celebrities play into the fucking conspiracies and stereotypes. That helps the right say, look, we told you. So, like, the one that I just thought about because I saw a picture of her, like Charlize Theron adopted a little black boy. And she claims that when the boy was 3 years old, he looked at her and said, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. And now she's raising the child as a girl. Like, sometimes they feed, like, it doesn't help my case any when I'm trying to argue with these motherfuckers. Sometimes it's like they're feeding into it. I don't understand. Holy fuck. It doesn't help me argue with these goddamn retards. And I don't know what happened between her and the kid. I wasn't there. But I don't know that a 3-year-old's making that choice ever. Like, if my 3-year-old come to me and said, I'm a girl, I'd be like, okay, we're playing You're a Girl today. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that that's a... I hate this world. All of it.
Know how to build an atomic bomb?
No.
Reasons why the UK is better than the US. We don't make our own name for football.
Bro, what? Yes, you do. United Kingdom was actually the first country to call it soccer. The term soccer...
3-foot overhangs are uncommonly large.
You do well. Mustard.
You are gay.
And being gay is okay.
Makes sense.
To someone who is gay.
You probably have no fucking idea how tariffs work.
Wow, this guy must be an expert, because it'd be pretty embarrassing to be that confident and completely wrong.
Oh, no.
Tariffs on the foreign products that Walmart brings in, which will raise the cost of the foreign products and allow the American companies to actually be able to compete on price.
Wrong. So what happens, this has been research. So what happens is, let's say an American company builds a product for $10, but you can, and they're selling something for $10. They didn't build it for $10. They say they're selling something for $10. China brings a product into the market for $5. That's what they're selling it for. What typically happens is that American company will now have to lower its price slightly, and the Chinese company can raise its price slightly, and they can still control parts of the market. So the Chinese product is for people that are very value conscious or mostly concerned about price, and the American brand will be people who maybe want general higher quality or think that just because it's American, it's higher quality. So what happens when a tariff comes in, and we have the original products at 10 and 5, a tariff comes in, and let's say it's a $5 tariff. So you would think that brings it up to 10 and 10, and now people can pick whichever one they want. Like, you want the Chinese one, it's 10. You want the American one, it's better quality in your head at least, whether it is or not, then you'll buy the American one for the same price. So American companies do better, and we stop buying the Chinese product. But what happens when they study this is the tariff comes in, America for $10, Chinese for $10, then the American company raises its price a little bit more. So now no matter whether you're buying the Chinese one or the American one, you're spending more than you would have regardless even if there wasn't a tariff. Even to buy the American one. Because American companies think, well, we're made in America. Well, we bring higher quality. We see our competitors are from China. We can raise our price a little bit. This always happens. Every time they study this.
Companies can't compete on price when you raise their production costs. Tariffs don't just apply to the goods consumers buy in stores. They'd apply to any materials imported by domestic producers.
Thereby incentivizing people to buy American, which would lead to that American company being able to lower their prices because they're finally getting volume.
Nope. Volume would actually be lower. American goods would cost more to make, foreign goods would cost more to import, and those higher prices would reduce the quantity demanded.
The American product, which is actually employing people here in the U.S., they actually have to pay their employees a real wage, real benefits.
Making more in America would employ more people, but it would then raise the cost of living for those same people. Higher prices affect everyone, while any increases in jobs or wages would be concentrated only in specific sectors.
Do these liberals not understand that this is the point?
Can you
Walmart CFO signals that prices are going to raise because of the Trump's tariffs.
You guys get your stories straight?
That's the point.
Half of MAGA is saying tariffs are awesome, but the other half insists this is just a bluff for negotiations.
Reality can be whatever I want.
But I will admit, you did say something in this video that I would echo.
You probably have no fucking idea how tariffs work.
You probably have no fucking idea how tariffs work.
Wow, this guy must be an expert. Because
I think, for instance,
Every day a new version.
What's your favorite vacation activity?
Building houses.
Who's your favorite athlete?
Marissa Tomei.
If you could pick one historical figure to be your sibling, who would you pick?
Oh, that's easy. You know William Shakespeare?
I'm familiar, yeah.
William Shakespeare can write my grocery list and my album. Hey, I'm Idris Elba.
What's your favorite city in the world?
I got two answers. One, I don't even know what that means. And the second answer, Atlantis. I've been doing so many self-portrait paintings at home, I'm starting to forget what I look like.
What's something in life that you're hesitant to do?
Skydiving. Empty-handed.
If you could have one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, that's easy. Hummus. And I ain't even tried that yet.
Who's your favorite family member?
Oh, that's easy. Zendaya, you heard?
Oh, wow. You're related to her?
Nah, I don't even know her last name, but I know I got HBO.
What's your dream job?
To take care of the moon and the sun.
Nice.
The mayor of Mayonnaise Land.
My grandpa from Ireland is from County Mayo.
What's his name? Let me guess. Hellman's. I grew up in a two-family house with no family, so it was like I was home alone.
What the fuck is this?
You ever seen that movie Home Alone?
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin.
I am very surprised, I've got to admit, and thankful, by the way. Almost 700,000 followers here on TikTok. What the heck is going on? And
I've got a baby Jesse update. I forgot to tell you guys. So I saw this scratch on his head, whatever this is. So apparently Mariah got to see Jesse finally over Thanksgiving and see him for a little bit. He recognized her and reached out for her or whatever, and she got to hold him and tell him bye and shit. We haven't been able to see him since all that stuff went down with like CPS and shit, and then the flood hit, and now our road is closed, so they can't get to us. Anyways, he had to have, so they think he had a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, which is what caused the swelling and the fluid and shit. Now, no one knows how this happened. Like, I've never, ever, ever even seen him bump his head. But he had issues with swelling in his head when he was still at the hospital, like a premature baby, right? When you guys remember, he was born super early. So, like with Ollie had these, like, polyps on the front lobe of his brain. And as he grew, they just ruptured and caused scar tissue on the front of his brain, caused fluid, caused swelling, caused seizures. So, as far as I know, I've never seen him fall, tumble, be abused, obviously. I would flip the fuck out. None of that stuff happened at our house, so he was just a happy baby, you know what I mean? But he's had these, basically since he came home from the house, but they tried to basically accuse Nick and Katie or someone that watched him of potentially being abusive or not paying attention or something like that. So that's all to say that that's all settled and whatever. There was no evidence of any abuse in any way, shape, or form. But they're still trying to get to the bottom of it. Like, did it happen in utero or what? They're still trying to get to the bottom of it. But he is building like fluid and blood on his head. So he had, when I saw him at Thanksgiving, he had 2 incisions on both sides of his head where they actually had to drain some of the fluid because he was building pressure. They even tried to, like, it kind of pissed me off. They even tried to, like, make Katie, which is his mom, feel bad, like Nick's wife, girlfriend, whatever, for taking him to the emergency room twice in a month. Like, the first time was because he was just unhappy, right? He was screaming all the time, and they knew something was wrong. That led to, like, the MRI and the shit, and they told him nothing was wrong. And then, like, 2 weeks later, he was still screaming and crying and shit and hadn't had a bowel movement in a few hours, so she took him back to the emergency room. They even tried to make her feel, they're like questioning her, like, why'd you take him to the emergency room twice? And like question Nick on shit, like, well, you ever like worked a long day, then come home and like the baby won't be quiet and you just get really mad? And he's like, no, that doesn't fucking happen. I don't know. That shit was wild. They tried to like when we first brought Liam home, Mariah was wore out. She was asleep. She had a C-section. She was like out of it on pain medicine. Well, and I had Liam like
very surprised
through the night laying on my lap, and I dropped him in between the bed and the nightstand and like cried. Like I was so upset. I thought I'd fucking hurt him. We even called the doctor in the middle of the night, woke the doctor up and was like, we don't know what to do. We dropped him. I've never fucking done this. And like no one treated me like that. They treated him really, really shitty. Which really pissed us all off, but it is what it is. I don't know, but we did get to see him. He's fine. I mean, like nothing's wrong with him, but they did have to drain some fluid off, and they don't know if they're gonna have to do it again or what. But that's where he's at now. But he was happy. He was laughing. He was holding his own bottle for the first time on Thanksgiving. We all got to see it. He seems like a happy baby, but I didn't like the way that the doctors, the people, which I understand, maybe they're trying to do their job and maybe they have a requirement to report certain things or whatever, but it's obviously not Nick and Katie. Like they baby the shit out of their kid. It's their first kid, right? They're with it all the time, doing everything they fucking can with him. Like, I don't know. And who abuses a kid then takes it to the fucking emergency room twice? I don't know. They were just really shitty to him. It pissed me off.
Well, Mr. Peterson, thank you so much for agreeing to give feedback on my new range.
Suspect is lactose intolerant.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, this guy's like a meth head. Hold on.
What's up, y'all? Geeked up like Bill 9. Let me put you on some sauce. Y'all know what that is? Y'all don't know what that is, do you? This can cut cats off silently. Bro, I can cut your cat so fast. Dude, I cut this dude's cat in the drive-thru, bro. You didn't even notice. Because I'm a slime ball. I will leave you stranded cutting your cat off, boy. Dude, I cleaned the Walmart parking lot out 3 weeks in a row. Dude, I'm surprised they ain't waiting. I'm surprised the police ain't just sitting up at Walmart waiting. You know what I'm saying? None of y'all are safe, really, dude. I can fucking shimmy under your car. I ain't even gotta jack shit up, dude. I will cut that bitch off and shimmy back out, boy. It's gonna take you like a total of 20, 30, 40 seconds. Just kidding. It'd probably take like 5 minutes tops. You know what I'm saying? But the other day I did it and I got so geeked up.
They got luckily they were kind of smart about it. Nick got really pissed off the way they were treating him, whatever. So they got a lawyer really quick, and they have been recording stuff, and they have been taking notes. But it seems like CPS has kind of moved on. But they did really treat him like shit for a while. Nick said even like you could tell like even the doctors and nurses at the hospital, the children's hospital, changed like the way they treated him and talked to him and shit, which would be horrible.
Up and paranoid,
and they still don't have answers because they know like they didn't fucking shake him or beat him or throw him down or something, and he still has this problem. That'd be the scariest part, getting blamed and you still don't even have fucking answers.
I called the police on myself, so that's a bad decision. But yeah, I put you on sauce. Remember that. What's up, y'all? Geeked up like Bill Nye.
He actually has some funny videos. I don't think he's actually a meth head, but he's got a bunch of funny videos. I saw one today where he was doing fucking Amazon shit. Where was that video at? It might have been from a different account. That he's like, it's like Amazon, but reverse. I come and steal your package. Oh, shit. What is that?
Purple looking too pretty. Oh, my goodness. Massa Douglas. Video to see if they'll let me get this as the comment in the video. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And even say it? Can I say, I'm gonna just do it to see if it'll stay up. Massa Douglas. Massa Douglas. I don't know, buddy. I don't know if they're gonna keep that one up. Massa Douglas. Massa Douglas. Massa Douglas. Massa Douglas. I mean, I got a few seconds left till I get 1 minute, right? That's cut off or something like that. Massive.
I don't know about those fucking toes. That was kind of wild, dude. Where's that Amazon one? It was actually funny. This guy went viral for popping through somebody's floor. Is this the video?
Oh, what am I doing? I'm just climbing out of one of the many bandos that I use as my shack. I'll tell you some fucking stories about.
There's like a viral video of he and it was titled like "What in the Fentanyl?" Hold on. We may have even watched it. He pops up out of the fucking floor, and he's talking about suing Chuck E. Cheese or some shit. Have you guys not seen it here?
Do you know somebody named? My bad, bro. I didn't mean to bust in your house like this. Do you know somebody named? Heather, get my gun. Do you know somebody named Stephanie?
No, Stephanie's here, bro.
Hold on. Hey, don't call.
I'm gonna call the police.
Hey, put the gun down, bro. Look, hey, don't call the police. Don't call. Hold up. I got something for you. Look.
What are you doing on my floor, man?
Look.
There was a better one than this. He does the same thing, but there was a better joke and punchline set up, and it went like fucking mega viral. He walks up and he starts talking about these lawsuits he's got against Chuck E. Cheese. Wonder if I put like I don't know. They block a bunch of stuff like meth head floor. Yeah, I can't. They block a bunch of stuff you can search. I don't know. I'm just killing time at this point. The world fucking sucks, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Wasn't there a rumor there was tunnels under Chuck E. Cheese for a while? I'm pretty sure that was the title of it, was What in the Fentanyl, but I can't search. It won't let me search it. Oh, well. What have you guys been doing this week? Fuck. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? We'll do that. How was your Thanksgiving, guys? Ours is all right. I went to my sister's house. Then we went to Mariah's mom's house, or Mariah's family's thing. It was actually her grandma's house. But I had fun at my sister's house. My other sister moved to Kentucky, so we haven't been able to go. We haven't been able to see her, but she's coming. She can't come for Christmas, but she's coming to visit right after Christmas. Here's that Amazon one I just watched earlier.
Shit, I almost just fucking died, dude. It's like when you deliver Amazon packages, except you don't deliver the packages. Like
brother's house,
the floor down there, and I just stole packages, or allegedly.
That's a safe, a Sentry safe.
From them. Motherfucking, they was having a Halloween party, bro. Got all type of phones, everything, bro. And I think this a fucking catalytic converger, dude. It's a fucking catalytic converger.
A catalytic converger.
Dude, what the fuck you mean, dude? Check me out, dude. I got fucking coupons to Virgilio's, dude. Party, dude. Tell me why I got coupons to Virgilio's. Hold up. I got coupons to Virgilio's. Okay, number one. Just didn't die, bruh.
If he's not a meth head, he does a good job playing one.
I made already. Guess how much I made already, bro? Once this package that I just reverse delivered, who knows, dude? Hold on, let me see who lives here, bro. Hey, holy shit! I almost just fucking died, dude.
He plays a good meth head if he's not one.
Deliver Amazon pack.
My oldest son was sick, so it was just me and my husband and my youngest son. We went out to Cracker Barrel. Yeah, dude. Somebody's telling me that they went to Golden Corral for Thanksgiving. And one year my mom was sick or something and couldn't cook. I can't remember what happened. There was some reason that we couldn't cook or whatever. And we went to Golden Corral, and it was actually really fucking good. Daughter was airlifted to UVA. That sucks. Stayed home alone. Mom's family tomorrow. Oh, you do it like spread out. I got you. I've been taking care of my boy in the Rock. Mom went to Houston. Yeah. Thanksgiving, I guess. I know there's some documents that come out for the Phil case. I guess they're live. Hold on. What we got? This is the Bree case. I don't think there's going to be anything coming out for this Grand Times case. Please be advised the plaintiff has filed a motion to strike defendant's motion for summary judgment. Phil has filed a motion to strike Bree's motion for summary judgment. Please schedule this matter for oral arguments. That's the first one. Then a 6-page document. Now this like one day, blah, 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 hereby ordered, courtroom, blah, blah, blah. On March 4th, 2024, court in a stipulated case management order. A stipulated case management order. See order. See true and correct copy. Paragraph 7 of the order is September 30th is the deadline for filing dispositive motions. Lackawanna County rules procedure. Nothing in this rule shall preclude any party from seeking an amendment to the case schedule upon good cause. Nothing shall preclude the trial court to amend the case management schedule upon request of a party and upon good cause shown. Defendant Bree filed her motion for partial summary judgment on October 31st, 2024, 31 days after the deadline established by the order. Bree did not seek prior leave of the court and supply good cause for her failure to timely file her motion for partial summary judgment. Bree is in contempt of the order for failing to timely file her motion for partial summary judgment and doing so without complying with the requirements of the explanatory comment to Lackawanna County Rules of Civil Procedure. Bree's motion for partial summary judgment should be stricken due to its untimely filing without leave of court. I think the reason it was filed was because Phil just had that ruling, right? So Phil had the ruling in the Scranton Times, and that's when it's filed. Godlewski has incurred cancel fees to enforce the provisions of the order, wherefore respectfully request the Honorable Court enter an order providing the following relief: striking Bree's motion for partial summary judgment, finding Bree in contempt of court, directing Bree to pay Godlewski's counsel fees in connection with this motion, providing such other relief as the court may deem just. That's the 6 pages for the fill stuff. So it says February 22nd was the deadline for parties to agree to forensic expert for production of data. April 17th, deadline for depositions. June 17th was the deadline for discovery. July 17th was deadline for delivery of plaintiff's expert reports. August 19th was deadline for delivery of defendant's expert reports. August 30 was deadline for delivery of any supplemental rebuttal expert reports. September 30th is the deadline for filing dispositive motions. Either party may request a settlement conference. So it seems like they've got an issue with the timeline. All right, then let's go into this. Plaintiff's answer to defendant's motion for partial summary judgment. So this is Phil's answer to Bree's motion for partial summary judgment, where basically he was collaterally e-stopped, right? He was e-stopped from claiming that this didn't happen. He can't say it didn't happen because he pled guilty to it. Hold on, I'm about to download this one because we need to see the other one as well. Let's go back. Page up. I think it's this one we need to open now. Because he's going to respond to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 20, 40, 50, 59 things. And we need to get those open. I have to open both of them, but. This might be the wrong one. Hold on. Does this have the points numbered? Or is it the other one, the motion? This is the brief in support. I need the motion. Hold on. Load. Their system's so fucking old. You have to put like X boxes and you have to put X's in the boxes, then hit enter, then it's supposed to load. Their system fucking sucks, dude. Okay. So I've got his response. We'll read hers on the screen, then we'll read the response. So 1. As this court is well aware, the case involves various claims spawning from a sexual relationship that occurred between Mr. Godlewski and Bree, while Bree was under the age of 16 and Mr. Godlewski was approximately 25 years of age. 1. Denied. After reasonable investigation, plaintiff is without sufficient information to form an opinion or belief as to what the court is aware of. Allegations concerning the court's awareness are denied. 2. Indeed, Mr. Godlewski filed a complaint against Bree asserting claims for defamation and invasion of privacy, alleging Bree defamed Mr. Godlewski and somehow placed him in a false light when she executed an affidavit acknowledging that a sexual relationship occurred between the two while Bree was under age of 16 and ultimately claiming Bree's affidavit was false. 2. Admitted in part, denied in part. It was admitted that plaintiff filed a complaint against defendant sounding in defamation and invasion of privacy. Further, it is admitted that Bree defamed Mr. Godlewski. It is denied that Phil engaged in a sexual relationship with defendant while defendant was a minor. 3. In response to Mr. Godlewski's complaint, Bree filed an answer, new matter, and counterclaim, first denying that she defamed Mr. Godlewski and then filing counterclaims for defamation, assault, and battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and negligent infliction of emotional distress. 3. Admitted that she filed all these things. 4. The procedural history, or more accurately, the lack thereof, that followed, and the related litigation filed by Mr. Godlewski against Chris Kelly's Scranton Times, styled Phil Godlewski versus Chris Kelly's Scranton Times, LP, at CV 2195, the Godlewski v. Times case, are beyond significant and must be acknowledged here. He denies that. Defendant has not provided an accurate procedural history of the above captioned case. Rather, defendant alludes to the alleged lacking yet significant procedural history of another matter. Okay. 5. To this end, in Godlewski v. Times case, Mr. Godlewski brought a claim against Chris Kelly and the Scranton Times, collectively the Times defendants, claiming that he was somehow defamed by the Times defendants in an article written by Kelly, in relevant part, identified and criticized Mr. Godlewski's sexual relationship with Bree while he was an adult, and she was under the age of 16. And the response is admitted in part, denied in part. It is admitted that plaintiff brought claims against Chris Kelly and the Scranton Times, alleging that those parties defamed plaintiff. It is denied that plaintiff had a sexual relationship with the defendant when she was a minor. 6. The article read, in the normal course of reporting this column, I stumbled upon legal troubles, Godlewski's recent past, from Riverside High School baseball coach pled guilty to corruption of minors and admitted to having a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl, and went on to say, I have many character defects, but the last time I had sex with a 15-year-old was never. 6. Admitted in part, denied in part, is admitted that Scranton Times published a defamatory article containing the quoted statements. They can't keep saying a defamatory article. This has been ruled on. It's non-defamatory. It is denied that plaintiff ever admitted to having a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl. After reasonable investigation, plaintiff is without sufficient knowledge to form an opinion or belief as the veracity of the allegation that Chris Kelly never had sex with a 15-year-old. The allegation is therefore denied. She's not making the allegation. She's saying that this was in the article. Whatever. Because of this, Ms. Godlewski filed his complaint against the Times. That's admitted. After months of discovery, the Scranton Times filed a motion for summary judgment, arguing that the Times defendant were entitled to judgment as a matter of law. Admitted in part, denied in part. It is admitted that after months of discovery, the Scranton Times filed for a motion of judgment. It's denied that the Times defendant argued that they were entitled to a judgment as a matter of law. Rather, the Times defendants argued that they were entitled to judgment due to lack of issues of material fact. In the meantime, and while the Scranton Times motion for summary judgment was pending, Mr. Godlewski did not take a single action to prove his claims against Bree in the instant case. Denied. Plaintiff marshaled the evidence available to him and exchanged in discovery in this case. 10. Indeed, as the plaintiff, Mr. Godlewski did not take a single deposition. This is especially troubling, being that he previously filed a motion for judgment on the pleadings that he was denied, and then somehow filed a motion for summary judgment, making the very same arguments without having developed any additional facts or evidence to support the same. Admitted in part, denied in part. It is admitted that the defendant in this case, the plaintiff, has not taken a single deposition. After reasonable investigation, plaintiff is without sufficient knowledge to form an opinion or believe the veracity of the allegations that defendant is especially troubled. The allegations of defendant's especially troubled state is therefore denied. It is further denied that plaintiff does not have additional facts beyond those offered in the pleadings to support plaintiff's motion for summary judgment. Well, you didn't submit any, so yeah, you did. 11. Even more disturbing, Ms. Godlewski filed this motion for summary judgment here in this case after the Honorable Terrence Nealon granted the Scranton Times motion for summary judgment in the Godlewski v. Times case. Why is this so important? Admitted in part, denied in part. The plaintiff has filed a motion for partial summary judgment in the above captioned case. After reasonable investigation, plaintiff is with sufficient knowledge of opinion, whatever. Defendant is disturbed or why defendant regards this as so important. Those allegations are therefore denied. 12. Judge Nealon granted the Times motion for summary judgment, ruling in relevant part that the summary judgment in favor of the Times defendant was appropriate because Godlewski is collaterally estopped from denying his participation in a sexual relationship with Bree in 2010. This ruling cannot be overstated here. The opinion of Judge Nealon in the Godlewski v. Scranton Times case is attached here to as Exhibit A, the Judge Nealon opinion. See page 1 of the Judge Nealon opinion. How do they respond to that? 12. Denied. It is denied that Judge Nealon granted a summary judgment in the Scranton Times case on the basis of collateral estoppel. Rather, Judge Nealon, in his order dated September 30th, expressly disavowed application of the doctrine collateral estoppel. See true and correct copy of September 30th, 2024 order attached here to as Exhibit 1. To put Judge Nealon's opinion and ruling into perspective, a summary of the underlying criminal proceedings against Mr. Godlewski is necessary. Paragraph 13 contains no conclusions of law to which the response is pleading. 14. On July 9th, 2010, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania filed a criminal complaint against Mr. Godlewski, charging him with statutory sexual assault, 18 PA CS 3122.1, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, aggravated indecent assault, unlawful contact with a minor, intimidation of a victim, criminal use of communication facility, corruption of minors, and indecent assault. Admitted. Following negotiations between counsel and the Commonwealth, the Galusi Commonwealth filed criminal information on November 8, 2010, charging Galusi with a single count of corruption of minors under the 2010 version of 18 PA CS 6301A1 on a factual basis that he did repeatedly have inappropriate text messages and contact with a minor. Admitted in part, denied in part. It is admitted that Commonwealth filed criminal information on November 8, 2010, charging plaintiff with a single count of corruption of minors on the factual basis that plaintiff did repeatedly have inappropriate text messages and contact with a minor. It is denied that the single count of the information was brought under the 2010 version of the statute, as that enactment was not effective until December 6, 2010. Yeah, I think they got this backwards. It was under the pre-2010 version of it, because there was another one that went into effect 2010, later on in 2010, December 2010. 16, the following text message from Mr. Godlewski to Bree served as factual basis for criminal information, and it reads these horrible text messages. You can read them while they're on screen. He says, 16, denied. It is denied that the stated and unauthenticated text messages formed the factual basis for the criminal information. Rather, as defendant states in paragraph 15 in her motion for summary judgment, the sole factual basis of the was that the plaintiff did repeatedly have inappropriate text messages in contact with a minor. Okay. 17, the text message above served as a factual basis of the claim in the Commonwealth's criminal information that Mr. Godlewski did repeatedly have inappropriate text messages in contact with a minor. 17, denied. It is denied that the unauthenticated text messages form the basis of the criminal information. Rather, as a matter of law, in determining the basis of the plea, the court is restricted to examining the text of the information, the guilty plea colloquy, and the sentences made on the record at the time of the plea. 18, on July 11, 2011, Mr. Godlewski pled guilty to the charge against him of corruption of minor, thereby admitting all facts averred against him that represented the basis of the charge. It is well settled that a guilty plea constituted an admission to all the facts averred in the indictment, and that a trial court may grant summary judgment based upon such admission. And then it links a bunch of text here or other cases. Because the guilty plea is an admission of the facts averred in the complaint, it is conclusive proof of wrongdoing for which she is charged. This is what we said the whole time. This is what his previous case was ruled on. That's what they say. Page 18 contains conclusions of law to which no response is required. Oh, you didn't respond to this at all? Because Mr. Godlewski pled guilty to the charge against him, corruption of minor, thereby admitting all facts averred against him, and that represented the basis for the charge. Yeah. They didn't respond at all to that. Same thing in 19. This, of course, formed the basis of Judge Newland's opinion, granting the Scranton Times motion for summary judgment. They did not respond. 20. Indeed, Judge Newland actually determined Mr. Godlewski is collaterally estopped from arguing that he was not involved in a sexual relationship with Miss Bree, which included sexual intercourse and other indecent contact. Godlewski. So I don't think people realize how much leeway a lot of times judges have. I was talking to a guy today who's a judge about a case, and he's like, you know, the judge could come up there and laugh and tell this guy he's fucking stupid and throw it out. Or he could be like, well, we don't know, we'll see. Or he could give him a dressing down for wasting his time. Like, they have a lot of leeway and power in the courtroom. Judge Newland determined is not involved in sexual relationship, including sexual intercourse and indecent contact. See page 34-37 of Exhibit A. Godlewski is collaterally estopped from denying his participation in a sexual relationship with Bree in 2010. They responded, denied. Judge Newland specifically disavowed any application of the doctrine of estoppel in his opinion dated September 30th, 2024. 21. Again, the significance of his opinion and the specific ruling cannot be overstated. How then could Mr. Godlewski argue, let alone prove, Bree defamed him when the basis for the said claim is Bree lied about the sexual relationship? Very simple. He cannot. That was 21. Paragraph 21 contains rectorial. Is that a word? Or did they just misspell it? I don't know what that means if it is. We'll have to look it up. Relating to a rector or god as a ruler of men. Yeah, I think they meant rhetorical, not rectorial. Whatever. Includes a law to which no response is required. 22. Therefore, Ms. Godlewski, as party bearing the burden of proof as to his claims, cannot produce any evidence of defamation, invasion of privacy, where he is collaterally estopped from denying his participation in a sexual relationship. They said no response is required. All the way through 26, we're just going to read because they said no response is required. Likewise, for this very reason, there's no genuine issue of material fact as to Bree's defense to Mr. Godlewski's claims. Finally, under this same rationales, there is no genuine issue of material fact as to Bree's claims set forth in her counterclaim for defamation, false lie, and assault and battery. Because of this and the reason to be stated in Bree's brief in support of her motion, she's entitled to summary judgment. Now, 26, they respond again. No, 27, I'm sorry. As this court is well aware, Pennsylvania Rural Civil Procedure 1035.2 provides as follows. After the relevant pleadings are closed, but within such time as not unreasonably delayed trial, any party may move for summary judgment in whole or in part as a matter of law, whenever there is no genuine issue of material fact as the necessary element of the cause of action or defense, which could be established by additional discovery or expert report. If, after the completion of discovery relevant to the motion, including production of the expert's reports, an adverse party who will bear the burden of proof of the trial has failed to produce evidence of facts essential to the cause of action or defense, which in a jury trial would require the issue to be submitted to a jury. Mr. Godlewski not only cannot prove his claims, he is collaterally estopped from making them, warranting the entry of summary judgment in favor of Miss Bree. All right, now 27 is when they start arguing again. They don't even argue to this. They don't even argue this. This has got to be a Hail Mary last-ditch effort here. As will be demonstrated in Bree's brief in support of her motion for some posture of summary judgment, incorporated herein in reference throughout fully set forth the undisputed facts of record established that Ms. Godlewski engaged in a sexual relationship with Bree when Ms. Godlewski was approximately 25 years of age and Bree was under 16 years of age. And denied after reasonable investigation, plaintiff is without sufficient knowledge to form an opinion or belief as to what defendant will demonstrate. As yet, her unwritten brief allegation of paragraph 27 are therefore denied. Of course, she knows she knows what's going to be in her brief. Fucking retards. 28. Moreover, and significantly, Judge Nealon has ruled that Ms. Godlewski's collaterally estopped from denying his sexual relationship with Bree. See Exhibit A, of course, that same ruling and rationale applies here. Denied, Judge Nealon specifically disavowed any application of the doctrine of estoppel in his opinion. Specifically disavowed. I don't believe that. Hold on, let me scroll on down. On August 30th, 2024, a memorandum and order was filed granting, this is from his opinion, the motion for summary judgment filed by blah, 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 Scranton Times. In this action, asserting defamation, false light of privacy on the grounds the plaintiff Godlewski had not adduced sufficient evidence that Kelly and Scranton Times published a false defamatory statement concerning Godlewski that they did so with actual malice. On September 13th, 2024, Godlewski filed a motion for reconsideration, which was forwarded to the undersigned's administrative assistant September 14th, seeking reversal of the rulings that Godlewski has not presented enough evidence of falsehood claims regarding the sexual relationship with Bree and has not adduced sufficient evidence of the actual malice as part of Kelly and Scranton Times in light of the evidence filed by Godlewski. Since a trial court loses its authority to act upon motion for consideration in its original order, it fails to expressly grant that motion in 30 days of entry of the original. Entered on Monday, September 16th, 2024, Kelly and Scranton Times file an answer to the motion for reconsideration. September 19th, blah, blah, blah. The first issue raised by Godlewski's motion for reconsideration relates to the conclusion of Godlewski's guilty plea constituted an omission by him of the facts set forth in an inappropriate text message which served as a basis for corruption of minor plea 2010. He contends that it was an error to rely upon Commonwealth Department of Transportation v. Mitchell and his progeny, finding that Godlewski is bound by his guilty plea admission since Kelly and Scranton Times had asserted res judicata or collateral estoppel as defenses in their new matter. Under Godlewski further alleges that there are sufficient factual conflicts between the text of the criminal complaint, the affidavit of probable cause, the guilty plea colloquy, and the information so as to permit Godlewski's defamation and false light invasion of privacy claims to proceed to trial. Godlewski also requests reconsideration of the ruling. Summary judgment recorded lacks clear and convincing evidence that Kelly and Scranton Times knew that the factual statements pertaining to Godlewski and the article were false, or that Kelly, the Scranton Times, had a high degree of awareness of their probable falsity and entertained serious doubts of the truth of publication. He takes issue with the observation that the deposition testimony of the Scranton Times executive editor, Larry Holeva, was somewhat difficult to decipher due to extensive redactions. That's because they used a highlighter, which they shouldn't have done. And he re-reviewed those. Godlewski's motion for reconsideration first asserts that he has produced sufficient evidence that Kelly published a false and defamatory factual statement concerning him by stating in his op-ed column that Godlewski pled guilty to the corruption of minors, admitting to have a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl. The summary judgment recorded reflected that forensic analysis of Godlewski's cell phones and computers conducted by law enforcement investigators retrieved text messages between Godlewski and Bree, which contained conversations of sexual encounters, including the following text message transmitted from Godlewski to Bree, as quoted in the affidavit of probable cause supporting criminal charges against him in Godlewski, and it shows the messages. The criminal information charging Godlewski with corruption of minors identifies as the factual basis for the charge that Godlewski did repeatedly have inappropriate text messages and contact with a minor. The memorandum and order dated August 30th, 2024, quoted Godlewski's signed guilty plea colloquy, and they admitted under oath that he knew exactly what you were charged with and what you were pleading to, and that he understood the elements of the crime charge that you were pleading to, and that he admitted that you did the above stated act constituting corruption of minors. During his guilty plea hearing before Judge Vito P. Garula on November 12, 2010, Godlewski expressly acknowledged that he signed and initialed that written guilty plea colloquy and read, understood, and answered truthfully all questions. Prior to accepting Godlewski's guilty plea to corruption of minor, Judge Garula directed Assistant District Attorney Patty Lafferty, Esquire, to provide him with the facts supporting the corruption of minor charge against him. Assistant Director Lafferty stated between January 2008 July 2010, Godlewski corrupted or tended to corrupt the morals of any minor less than 18 years of age, in that Godlewski did repeatedly have inappropriate text message in contact with a minor. After Assistant District Attorney Lafferty recited those facts, the following exchange transpired between Judge Grillo and Godlewski. And you admit that between January of 2008 and July of 2010, you engaged in the conduct just described by District Attorney. Yes, Your Honor. All right, we'll accept this guilty plea. We'll defer imposition of sentencing pending the pre-sentence investigation. Thank you, sir. A criminal defendant like Godlewski who elects to plead guilty has a duty to answer questions truthfully. For that reason, defendants are bound by statements made during the guilty plea colloquies and may not successfully assert that claims that contradict those statements. By virtue of the conclusion affected the statements submissions made during guilty pleas in criminal matters, a defendant who pleads guilty cannot be heard to deny in a civil action that which was established in his prior determination of guilt without proof that his guilt was procured by fraud, perjury, or some other manner of error sufficient to set aside his determination of guilt. So you can't plead guilty in criminal court and then take it away and take it back in civil court. I thought they said that he like explicitly said not to use estoppel in this. I don't see that anywhere. Transcript of the guilty plea. I think we've read this. All right, yes. All right, that's a certificate. Yeah, I think that's just bullshit. He keeps saying that the judge said not to use estoppel. Again, he's collaterally estopped. They don't respond to 29. Again, he's collaterally estopped from arguing that he did not engage in a sexual relationship with Bree while she was under the age of 16. He plainly cannot argue he was somehow defamed by the affidavit, which revealed this sexual conduct that is now being deemed admitted. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, they don't respond to. In this instant matter, the issue of whether Mr. Godlewski engaged in a sexual relationship with Bree while she was under the age of 16 lies at the core of Mr. Godlewski's claims surrounding defamation and invasion of privacy. If Mr. Godlewski is collaterally estopped from claiming no sexual relationship occurred between Mr. Godlewski and Bree while Bree was under the age of 16, there could be no claim for defamation or invasion of privacy. Indeed, Bree did not defame Mr. Godlewski in her statement, in her affidavit, and otherwise were actually true, a fact now admitted. Indeed, as the truth is complete defense to defamation, see those cases. Godlewski cannot maintain a cause of action for defamation against Bree after being collateral estopped from denying the truth of her statements. Further, as a plaintiff bears the burden of proving falsity and defamation claim when the plaintiff is a public figure, Mr. Godlewski is incapable of proving his case. Regarding Mr. Godlewski's claim for evasion of privacy, Mr. Godlewski is required to show that Bree had knowledge or acted in reckless disregard as the falsity of the publicized matter and false lie in which the other would be placed. As Mr. Godlewski collaterally estopped from denying the sexual relationship occurred, Mr. Godlewski is once again unable to maintain this claim. Very simple. The crux of Mr. Godlewski's claims is that Bree lied about having sex with him when she was a minor. They admitted that. So the crux of Mr. Godlewski's claims is that Bree lied about having sex, but he can't say that anymore. He stopped from that. 36 through 45, they say nothing. Because Judge Neely ruled that Godlewski admitted to having engaged in a sexual relationship with Bree when she was a minor, Godlewski cannot meet the elements of his claim. The same holds true for Bree's claim, sounding in defamation, false lie, assault, and battery, and because of this, Bree is entitled to judgment as a matter of law, and her claims for defamation, false lie, assault, and battery should proceed to trial only on damages. So the reason they don't go for a full summary judgment is they want the summary judgment to approve this and go to trial just to see how much the damages are, not whether she's right or not. She's already right, just what the damages are. We're going all the way through 46. For the same reason stated above, Bree is entitled to judgment as a matter of law on her claims, defamation, false lie, assault, and battery. In light of Judge Neely's opinion attached to Exhibit A, Miss Bree has shown that no issue, material fact exists in this instant matter and that judgment should be awarded in her favor. To this end, Bree has proven each element of defamation beyond any doubt, that Godlewski having admitted to most elements. As no conditionality, I don't know why I want to put a T in it. As no conditionally privileged occasion is relevant in the instant case under Pennsylvania law, Bree has the burden of proving the defamatory character of the communication, its publication by the defendant, its application to the plaintiff, the understanding by the recipient of its defamatory meaning, the understanding by the recipient of it is indeed to be applied to the plaintiff, special harm resulting to the plaintiff from its publication. One, it cannot be challenged that accusing Bree of fabricating the instance of illegal extramarital sexual relationships between her and Godlewski is a communication of defamatory character, particularly when considering Godlewski stated that Bree lied to the authorities and signed a false affidavit to this effect. Godlewski actually committed defamation per se under Pennsylvania law by falsely claiming that Bree committed perjury, a felony, and false reports to law enforcement authorities, a misdemeanor. Additionally, Godlewski committed defamation per se under Pennsylvania law by falsely claiming that Bree committed serious sexual misconduct. Societally fabricating accusations of sexual assault can alienate one from their community nearly as quick as committing sexual assault. It is well known that generations of women who were sexually assaulted chose to remain silent out of fear that they would not be believed and they would instead be forced to endure ridicule from members of their community. As such, by claiming Bree falsely accused Godlewski of sexual assault, Godlewski falsely stated that Bree committed serious sexual misconduct. In fact, Godlewski is even on video making publications and made other publications from personal social media accounts. See Godlewski Rumble videos, URL attached here to his Exhibit D. Now, 46 is when they start replying again. Mr. Godlewski identifies Bree by name, admitted. 47. No response. The simplistic nature of Mr. Godlewski's statements render them easily understood by any audience. 48. Mr. Godlewski identified Bree by her name in some instances and by characterization in other instances before calling her a liar, claiming she lied in her affidavit, and claiming she lied to police. There was no room for confusion or error as to who Mr. Godlewski was referring to. They responded to this one as admitted. 49 through 56, no response. They're just saying it contains conclusions of law to which no response is required. It's 49 through 56. As identified above, Mr. Godlewski committed defamation per se by claiming Bree committed crimes and by claiming that she committed serious sexual misconduct. As such, Bree's burden shifts from needing to show special harm to only needing to be able to show harm to reputation. By his own admission, Godlewski reached an audience of millions of viewers, listeners. God, those numbers are coming back to hurt him, aren't they? During the streams in which he defamed Bree, Bree's reputation was permanently and irreparably harmed by his statements. Regarding Bree's invasion of privacy claim, Judge Nealon's opinion is sufficient to prove Godlewski cannot disprove Bree's claim. Under Pennsylvania law, one who gives publicity to a matter concerning another that places the other before the public in a false lie is subject to liability of the invasion of privacy if the false lie in which the other was placed would be highly offensive to a reasonable person, the actor had knowledge of or acted reckless in disregard of the falsity of the publicized matter, and the false lie in which the other would be placed. 52. Mr. Godlewski brought publicity to a matter in which he stated that Bree fabricated the existence of a sexual relationship between herself and Godlewski. Mr. Godlewski knew that his statements were false and is collaterally estopped from arguing otherwise. Any reasonable jury would find it highly offensive to be portrayed as a woman who would commit perjury, lie to police, and falsely accuse a man of sexual assault. Bree has met all the elements required to prove her false light claim. Regarding Bree's claims for assault and battery, under Pennsylvania law, assault is defined as an act intended to put another person in reasonable apprehension of immediate battery. Battery is defined as harmful or offensive contact with a person. Further, battery requires no physical injury but some contact. A lack of consent is required in proving battery. The matter of permission goes to the quality of the contact, and consent to being so touched is a defense. As a result, Nealon opinion, Mr. Godlewski declared estopped from claiming he had no sexual contact with Bree. Under Pennsylvania law, Bree was unable to consent to sexual contact as she was under the age of 16. And then 56 is the last one. As non-consensual sexual contact is illegal based on its inherently harmful and offensive nature, Bree has proven all elements of battery. So I hope she gets him for assault and battery too. That'd be pretty funny. 57. As Bree was conscious and aware of the sexual contact Mr. Godlewski was about to make with her, Bree was in reasonable apprehension of the immediate repeated batteries that were about to occur and did subsequently occur. As such, Bree has proven all the elements of assault. Now they respond to 57 and say it is denied that plaintiff had any sexual contact with defendant while defendant was a minor. Dude, you can't keep claiming this. The judge has already told you can't claim this anymore. 58 and 59, the last two, they do not respond. Therefore, not only is there no issue of genuine fact as to Mr. Godlewski's claim for defamation and invasion of privacy, but there's also no issue of material fact as to Bree's claim for defamation, false light, assault, and battery. In light of the foregoing, Bree respectfully submits that all questions of liability be decided in her favor and that this case proceed to trial only regarding damages. So she only wants to go to trial to see how much she's owed, basically. Okay, here's the opinion. Now, in this opinion, all that's left on Phil's is a signature and some other shit. Now, in this opinion, supposedly the judge reputes using collateral estoppel. A self-proclaimed patriot reporter who claims to be one of the highest anons of the QAnon movement and to earn $5 million per month from his QAnon broadcast on social media has instituted litigation advancing claims for defamation, false light, invasion of privacy newspaper and its op-ed columnists because the article they published on February 14, 2021, the ironic gist of the opinion column is at issue is that QAnon broadcaster firmly states in his published videos on social media that certain high-ranking elected and public officials are satanic, cannibalistic pedophiles sexually abusing children and drinking their blood to ingest life-extending chemical adrenochrome, previously pled guilty in this county to corruption of a minor resulting from a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl while he was 27-year-old baseball coach at her high school. Upon the completion of the discovery, the columnist, the newspaper filed an instant motion for summary judgment on the ground that the broadcaster has failed to adduce sufficient evidence to satisfy his burdens of proof governing his defamation false light claims. Since the broadcaster is immediately a public figure, he must establish that the op-ed columnist and newspaper published a false and defamatory statement concerning him and that they did so with actual malice in that either knew the factual statement was false or they subjectively acted with reckless disregard for its truth or falsity because they had a high degree of awareness of its probable falsity or entertained serious doubts as to its truth. Even when the summary judgment record is evaluated in light most favorable to the broadcaster, it lacks sufficient evidence that the columnist and newspaper published a false and defamatory statement about the broadcaster with actual malice. Furthermore, inasmuch as the broadcaster's claim for false light, invasion of privacy similar requires actual knowledge of, subject to reckless disregard of falsity of publication, the broadcaster's submitted evidence likewise is insufficient as a matter of law to sustain false light, invasion of privacy claim. According for these reasons discussed in greater detail below, the motion for summary judgment filed by the columnist and the newspaper will be granted. All right, there's the paper. We can skip that part. There's their text message. We can skip all that. Selling rabbit holes, we can skip that. We can skip that. The summary judgment reflects that on July 9th, 2020, Detective Mancuso, sexual activity, informed Miss Bree. Bree was advised by detectives. We can skip that. We went to the estoppel here. Pled guilty, not nolle contender to the charges. A sampling of his beliefs. We can get past that. That's his bouncing the checks, tampering with records. We can skip that. Wealth discovery, skip that. He hasn't produced any evidence. No liability for true statements. Inappropriate text with Bree, okay. Must also establish they made it with malice. That's true. This is the opposition. Phil's opposition. It's going to be very short. This is all the case. Defamation, how the burden of proof works. Falsity of factual statements. You get all the way down to the ruling. Hold on. Okay. Godlewski claims that Kelly falsely reported that he pleaded guilty to corruption of minors and admitted to having a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl. Based upon the content of Godlewski's text message, which served as a factual basis for corruption of minor charge, set forth in the criminal information, Godlewski swore and plea that specific crimes in the court of law. Both of the foregoing statements made by Kelly in his article are true. As a result, Godlewski's guilty plea to inappropriate text messages and contact with Bree, as set forth in the affidavit of probable cause, quoting the offending text messages, admitting memorializing a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old minor. Godlewski is collaterally estopped from denying his participation in a sexual relationship with Bree in 2010. Thus, Godlewski has failed to come forward with sufficient evidence, creating a genuine issue of material fact concerning the claim of falsity of Kelly's statements that Godlewski pleaded guilty to corruption of minors and admitted to having a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl. Godlewski alternatively alleges that Kelly made false factual statements by indicating that Godlewski was selling rabbit holes. So this is on to the next part already. So he doesn't repute them. This is rabbit holes here. Pandemic. This is some of his other crazy beliefs. Even when the summary judgment record is viewed in light most favorable to Godlewski as a non-moving party, it demonstrates that it sells rabbit holes in reference. Still not good. Happily calls out the cadence. Still not enough. Still not enough. He didn't even submit anything. Like, I don't even understand. He didn't even submit any fucking evidence, but I don't see the judge saying anything about we shouldn't be using this collateral estoppel as the ruling. He actually references it and says that you are unable to continue denying this fact. I don't know where Phil's lawyers just lie as much as he does. I don't know. This is wild. Even when they tried to flip Larry Holeva as if Chris Kelly didn't do enough research, it was still wasn't enough. None of this was enough. Defendant's motion for summary judgment is granted. The clerk and record shall review it. Yeah, I don't see any repudiation of it. Guilty plea colloquy here that he signed, of course. And this was filled out in the... This is why the court should take their time, and when it says like the things like the crimes you're charged with, they should lay out fucking everything, right? It shouldn't just be contact and text message with minors, right? Or delinquency of minors. Don't use shorthand, but like thousands of text messages back and forth, sexual abuse, penetration, whatever the fuck you got to do, because slime balls will try to fucking push it to where they can get by with it. So, well, that's not... The contact doesn't mean we had sex. What the fuck do you think it means, you idiot? All right, guys, that's it for me. It's 1:30 in the morning. It is 22 degrees, and I'm fixing to ride a one-wheel for 1.5 miles. So, I don't know. Send me warm thoughts. Please consider supporting the show. We'll try to get back on schedule now. Thanksgiving's out of the way. We'll see. I'll be back in here, and we'll do what we can. So, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being here. It helps me. I've been fucking depressed lately, so it helps me too. So thanks for hanging out with me, even if it was kind of long and boring. I appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you around the next one. Have a good night. See you, bye. Support the show if you can on coldbeer.fund until we get a more permanent solution or something.
Fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshiping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for it.
Have a good night, guys.
Make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress.
Can you guys spend the cold nights at the office? We don't, I don't